Let's see what happens when I do this. Hey, y'all. I'm going to do my first reaction video. We're figuring out the software right now, so just bear with me. Give me like 3 minutes. Hey, y'all. Y'all, this is my first reaction video, if you can't tell. And I'm going to use... Coco, seriously, you know I'm working. You have to stop. Get your treat. Okay. I'm going to use a podcast, Dr. L's podcast. I was just on his podcast the other day, actually. And look, there I am in the suggestions over here. You see that in the top right? I did Jeff St. James podcast this last Monday. So anyway, I just did Jeff's podcast on Monday. I did Dr. L's podcast this past week. And I'm going to use his podcast for a reaction video so that we can see the attitude issues in real life. And one of the reasons why I think this is the Black woman attitude problem is invalidated is because often such extreme examples are used, like celebrity stuff or really like ridiculous things and people who are clearly like just off. But this is a professional that we're going to be looking at. When I watched this interview, and I only went up to, I watched about half of the interview, and I said, I'm going to do my first reaction video on this because it was so horrendous. The interview was so bad. Austin is going to appreciate the well wishes, y'all. So the interview was so bad that I said, this is a perfect example of what issues we're talking about. And it's coming from a professional. Both of them are professionals. It's coming from a professional. So this is not just people out on the street that have this issue. These are people who are white collar workers. Okay. Like this issue is a cultural issue. It's not relegated to any particular tier of society. And I'm going to use this video to highlight some of these issues. I'm going to also, I'll check in with y'all's comments every little bit, but I have a lot of things going on. So we're going to do this. We're going to be learning this together. Okay. We're going to be learning this together. I'm going to share my screen so that you can see the video. Y'all can see this. Let's watch. Let me pull up. I got a lot of stuff going on. Let me make this full screen. Watch my interview with Mr. Jeff St. James too when you get the chance. Make sure you subscribe to his content. It's really, really good. So let's do this. I don't know if we're going to do it all in one sitting. It's quite a long interview. Let me know also, y'all, how the sound is. I need a lot of feedback if you can't tell. I need a lot of feedback. So let me know if the sound is okay.
Hello. Welcome everyone to the show. Appreciate you guys.
Y'all, Dr. L has a background in law enforcement. His degrees are in psychology, and his doctoral degree is in forensic psych.
Join in the end. Out of sight, out of mind. Good evening to you, Miss Independent. Hey all. Miss Plums, greetings. I am still waiting for my guest here. I'm texting her right now, so I'm trying to figure out what is going on. She said she has everyone appreciate that. Should be a good show today. Young lady that we're going to review today, and I reached out to her, as I do to many other guests that I reach out to, and she decided to come back or at least to answer back. And we should have a great show. So I do have a lot of questions of her in the video that we're going to go over. Again, I'm waiting for her to log in. Let me send her another message here. Hope everyone is well. I don't like to keep people waiting. I know your time is valuable. I know it's valuable. On a Saturday afternoon as we wind down the good weather, the nice weather. I just finished a run, so I went for a run about 2 hours ago. And
look at that. He went for a run. We were just talking about running, weren't we?
So, let's see what videos I got here.
You already get out there and go for a run.
Security.
Okay, let me let them.
Actually, I got this one from. Oh, here she is.
Slow this down.
Hi.
How you doing?
Hi. Sorry, I was it was hard to get in because I have a Mac. You know how they like have to secure everything, so I had to like download this Chrome to even be able to get on here.
I'm not even gonna start.
I don't know anything about a Mac. I have a PC, so I don't know anything about that.
He said, I don't know nothing about that.
Yeah,
He said you were late. I don't know nothing about no Mac.
Yeah.
Mac is like the embassy.
This is
I hear that all the time there. There's a little bit of a glare back there.
Hey Jeff, look, Jeff is in the chat.
Can you like adjust that, or it's hard to see you? I don't know.
Can you see me?
Okay, I guess that's the best we can do. I don't know if there's a.
Is it better?
It's a little bit better. Yeah, it's better now. It's better now. So.
No, it's not.
Okay.
All right. Well, thanks so much for coming to the show. Someone's already welcomed you. Rhonda's welcoming you. Welcome, Dr. Hanson. Thank you so much. Hey, Dr. Face. I don't know what all that is. Yeah. Do you have a shade up, or do you have a shade or anything like that? It's a really bad glare there. So
This is funny already.
Is there should I log out and come back, or
it's the brightness behind you?
Yeah, it's sunny here. Let's see. Hold on.
This is already it's already like hard to watch. It's already a little hard to watch, y'all. It gets so much worse.
Is that better?
What's logging out and logging back in gonna do?
Let's see.
No.
It's just that our sun is very bright in California.
We gotta get past.
Okay, let me try.
It's better, but I guess I don't know if you got a filter on or something, but the camera is looks like you're underwater. So
sorry.
Do y'all not think this is funny to me? He said, "Looks like you're underwater." She said, "Sorry." Like, I mean, it's already funny because this is just a taste.
It's better
of what we're in for.
We'll just make do. I mean, we can't wrestle with this all the afternoon. So, but thank you so much for coming on to the show. I do appreciate it. If you would just take a moment there to introduce yourself. I saw you on. Somebody sent me a TikTok video of you, and that's a video that I want to review for today. But if you just take a little bit and just introduce yourself, if you would, please.
Okay. Well, I'm Chiaku, Dr. Chiaku. I have a where did I start? I'm from Los Angeles, born and raised. Went to school, HBCU, East Coast. Went to grad school in DC, then finished my doctorate here in LA. And my bachelor's in psychology, my master's is in psychology, and then I have my doctorate in clinical psychology. And I completed my practicum at Twin Towers, LA County Jail, and BETA, which is considered like Beyond Scared Straight, that program. And I completed my pre-doc in child analysis, and I have a certification in psychoanalysis, which is all about like getting into the unconscious mind, reprogramming. It's like mental surgery in a sense. It's under a medical model. It's a little different from therapy, way different. It's like depth work. I studied abroad shortly at the tail end of my doctoral program in Switzerland. I studied spiritual psychoanalysis. So I'm a believer. I don't want to say knower. I'm a woman of faith and Christian background, but the real Christianity, you know what I'm saying? Like lifestyle, not just religiosity and not just Bible thumping, but like.
And y'all, this is her video that's being choppy like that. It'll start getting a little bit smoother. I mean, the video is going to get smoother. The interview's not going to get smoother, but her video will get a little bit smoother.
As a lifestyle.
And honestly, I don't remember all that stuff from school. I don't know. I could not have run it all down like that. I don't know what
I have a podcast, Decoding Spiritual Mysteries. And so I talk about how to apply like spiritual law to your life and how to understand that when you disobey spiritual law,
yeah, the HBCU East Coast thing. I don't know what that meant.
just things don't work out for you. In spiritual law, there is no pleading. There is no I'm sorry begging to get out of it. It's like your consequences are your consequences. Your seeds that sown are your seeds sown. So that's why I started the podcast, because I wanted to talk about these things. And psychology, traditional psychology doesn't really embrace the spiritual. My doctoral dissertation, Transcendence of the Ego, does embrace the spiritual, which is you can work, heal, you can do as much as you want, but until you really address the spiritual work, you can't really transcend. So that's what my doctoral dissertation focused on. And so that's why I was interested in like spiritual psychoanalysis and studying abroad. And psychoanalysis does embrace spirituality.
Okay. Some forms of it does. Some forms of it, psychoanalysis, right?
No, like most analysts are Christian.
Look at him sighing. He just knows. He just knows this is not going to go well. This is not going to go well. How many minutes are we even in? Let's see. 7, 8 minutes, 9 minutes in. He's like,
Jewish, Catholic, they know God. So whereas most traditional psychologists, many of them are agnostic, atheists, or they're embracing like Eastern philosophies like Buddhism and things like that, or it's just taboo, don't talk about it.
Mm-hmm. What made you decide to get into that line of work?
Which one?
What you're doing now? Well, you're doing what made you interested in psychology, number one, and number two, psychoanalysis, and what you're doing. What are you doing as far as work? You said you have a podcast. What else are you doing besides work today?
He said, what are you doing?
Private practice.
Question.
Yeah.
Okay.
Private practice.
Okay.
So.
And that's psychoanalysis?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. First of all, he said, so what are you doing? Let me back up.
Psychology, number one. What made you decide to get into that line of work?
Which one?
It's annoying. It's just annoying. What made you get into that line of work? You just gave us 28 different items, and now we have to sift through all the information. Just tell me, how did you start? Just tell me how did you get to what you're doing? You know what you're doing. You got the information. You tell me.
Analysis?
Yes.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. So I was interested in psychology because it's just kind of a gift I've always had, just as a child, always been observant, always been able to predict things, always been like a adult trapped in a child's body kind of thing, always able to talk kids out of bullying me, you know what I mean? So I had like this thing ever since I was a child, but I didn't know it was special. I didn't know it was a discipline. I thought it was something everybody had, until I got into college and I was trying to figure out what major I should have. And I went to a career counselor and got tested, and I tested in psychology. So I took my first class, fell in love, and just went further with it. Then as I got to the doctoral level, I realized I'm also faith-based. So how can I combine these two worlds? Is it possible? And that's when I fell in love with analysis, because it is possible with analysis.
Okay. So you said you figured that out in your doctoral program.
Mm-hmm.
Was that not evident in your master's degree program, that there was a dichotomy between the spiritual and the so-called non-spiritual world of psychology?
I mean, it just depends what you're exposed to. In my case, I went to a historical Black college. So in my undergraduate degree, I thought I wanted to be a Black psychologist, because I thought that that's what you had. I was really into the pro-Black thing. So I thought, okay, yeah, I'm only going to work with Black people and just study culture and all this. And then I evolved. and I learned more. And the bachelor's degree in psychology is just informational. You're just learning a bunch of terms. You're learning all these different things, but you're not really practicing.
Sure.
And then in graduate school, I was still just trying to figure it out. And so I just went for general psychology. And at first I thought I wanted to do community psychology and social psychology because I did want to do more research. But then I evolved more and I realized that I wanted to also have the clinical background. So I was going to go into like social psychology, get the PhD in social psychology. But then when I realized that you can't practice as a clinician, you're just stuck in a lab, kind of just doing research. I didn't like it. So I found out about the doctoral clinical program, which allows you to teach if you want to be a professor, do clinical work, do testing and assessments, or you can do therapy. You can do literally everything. It's just more global. So, and then in your doctoral program, you should be learning what you want to do for the rest of your life. Your dissertation should reflect that. Many people just choose a dissertation topic just to get it over with. Me, I took everything seriously because I was like, I don't want to just, you understand that the dissertation is a beast. You don't want to spend years on something that's boring. And you need to have a discipline. You need to know what you want to do. And so, yeah, I thought I wanted to go into Jungian psychology. And I was like, before I do that, let me find out what this is about. So I studied it at the Jungian Institute in Switzerland shortly and found out that wasn't my thing. You know what I mean? So that's just how I am. I don't jump into things. I don't just do things. Like I meditate on it.
Very
I'm just speeding through this stuff because she just really, really deep into those education questions. Why won't she say the actual school? Probably because she doesn't want you to look her up.
very good. And so you
I don't know.
started a podcast, and tell us a little bit more about this podcast that you do.
I started decoding spiritual mysteries in like 2023, the end of 2023. And it was because, I'm a decoder and I know a lot of things about, like I said, the spiritual realm. And I'm very, very, very in alignment with God's principles. And first and foremost, God. And the truth.
Decoder already. I have to stop. What's the decoder though? What is a decoder? Like you know how to decode the mysteries of God. Already, y'all, already. There's a lot of things that should be called into question. She said, I'm not a believer, I'm a knower and a decoder. Someone who claims to be able to like decode spiritual mysteries has got to, it's just how, first of all, verified by who? By you? By yourself? Like that's the thing. When people say things that you cannot verify, there's no external validation. It's just in your own head. If you think you're right. And we're going to see this through line this is just the warm up, y'all. It's just so much. It just gets really bad. We're just getting a taste right now. But I just want you to notice that we're going to see that through line. There's nothing to validate what you're saying. You called yourself a decoder, a spiritual mystery decoder. Who can verify that? It's like when people say, and y'all, this could sound however it sounds, this is my reaction video, it's my opinion. It's like when people say that they heard from God and no one can verify it. And then they say like, God told me this, and no one can verify but you. I'm not saying that you can't not get a sense from God. This is a very deep conversation. We're not going to get into all of that today. But my point is that when people say things that you cannot verify, I'm calling you into question.
Who the real Messiah is. And so
Hold on.
Very, very in alignment with God's principles. And first and foremost, God. And the truth behind who the real Messiah is. And so psychology doesn't really embrace that by itself. So I decided to start my podcast where I could talk about those things.
Okay. Where can we find your podcast at?
Oh, he said, okay.
On Apple, Amazon, Spotify.
They both seem tired.
And what's the name of it again?
Decoding Spiritual Mysteries.
Decoding Spiritual Mysteries. Okay. All right. Okay. And so so you also do some TikTok, or is that related to the podcast, your TikToks?
No, it's just a separate thing.
Okay. A separate thing. So somebody sent me this video, so I want to show it to the audience here, and then I have a few questions about it, and so we'll dig into it.
You've seen nothing yet.
Rewatched it, right? The ones the one I specifically sent you, right?
Mhm.
I know you made it. Sometimes people say stuff to me, and I'm like,
No, but I
I don't
forget.
remember
So I
saying
can't remember.
that.
Yeah. So I rewatched
yeah.
because I like forgot. Like, I'm
This
always
is about
saying
the only
stuff.
time they're going to be laughing together.
Yeah. No, I know. Believe me, I know how it goes. All right, so
Enjoy
we'll
it.
put this on the screen here. So we'll show this for the audience here. It's like 4 minutes, you guys. So just hang on for this ride here. And this is understanding marital trends or something like that. That seems to be the name of it. So here we go.
The last to get married in America. Who? Black American women. The highest divorce rates. Who? Black American women. The last to get married. This is what the stats are showing. The lowest marital rates, the last to get married in America, and the highest divorce rates. Why? Because Black American women have been tricked into this strong, independent, matriarchal, sisters be doing it for themselves. I don't need no man. I'm not dating outside of my culture or race mentality. You have been tricked, took, shook. You have been lied to. You've been taught to stick to a ghost, to be loyal to men who don't show up to you, men who have the highest rates of imprisonment, have the highest rates of mental health issues, the highest rates of gang mentality, the highest rates of non-committal and non-marital rates. Black American women, get off of the independent, sisters be doing it for themselves. I don't need no man. You've been tricked. It's a defense. Men have tricked you into having sex with them, investing in them emotionally so that you don't get what you are supposed to have according to the word of God and according to even biological principles. When a woman has sex, there is a hormone release called oxytocin. Oxytocin is a bonding hormone for women. Women are creating soul ties, fornicating, releasing oxytocin to men who aren't marrying them. Stop it. Fornication is sinning against your own body. Stop giving it up to these men. They're not marrying you. They're not investing in you financially, energy, time, sacrificing. Stop doing it. Rise to the occasion and feel better about yourself. Date outside your culture. Date outside your race. Get an African man. Get a Caribbean man. Get an Afro-Spanish man. Get a Cape Verdean man. Get an Indian man. Get a Hispanic man. Get a white man if you have to. Just make sure that you pray about whatever mate that you're going to choose, because marriage, like my mentor would say, is it's like a biological, expression, so it has to be equally yoked and kindred. But Black American women, stop getting tricked out of having a real man show up for you, invest in you, love you, sacrifice. Stop doing it. Stop having sex and fornicating and sinning against your own body and creating these false bonds when he hasn't even released his bonding hormone, which is vasopressin, the male bonding hormone. Stats do not lie. Something is off. Something's wrong. There has been some sort of abomination, like some type of spiritual law that's been violated, biological law that's been violated, psychological law that's been violated. Get your power back. Stats do not lie. The Black American women that I know that get results are those that are not highly focused on he has to be Black American. If he is, great, congratulations. Get over that. Get you a nice, modernized, equally yoked African man in America. In America.
Wow.
Not one you bring from Africa, one that's here. Start thinking more. It's very spiritual, it's very psychological. Make sure that what you do is working for you.
All right. So
Let's go back before this really starts getting off the rails. First of all, if somebody's coming trying to tell you about your life with with coming in right into the camera lens like this. They got to come like this with a filter on, and they got sparkles coming out their eyes, and they don't even look. They don't look like a normal person trying to tell you how to live your life. Already, I think that you should be cautious, to say the very least.
Cole,
And then it started getting kind of hype.
Body, and creating these false bonds when he hasn't even released his bonding hormone.
You don't know what people are releasing. You don't know what people are releasing.
Stats do not lie. The Black American women that I know that get results are those that are not highly focused on, he has to be Black American. If he is, great, congratulations. Get over that. Get you a nice, modernized, equally yoked African man in America. Not one you bring from Africa, one that's here.
The thing is, people are doing stuff like that. They're really just talking to themselves, just in the camera.
I was like, but it really was, when I watched it, I was like, what am I listening to here? So I wanted to give you an opportunity to kind of elaborate on anything before I shoot out any questions or anything you want to say. Or
he's giving her a chance to say that's not what I meant. That's what he's giving her a chance to say. Look, this really got taken out of context, and this is really where I was coming from. He's like, before we actually unlayer what you just said and all the ridiculousness that just happened, I'm going to give you a chance to say, you know what, I was just having a bad day. But that's not what it was.
No, you said, what am I watching here? What do you mean by
that? So what do you mean by tricked? That was one of the things that triggered me. Thus, I titled the show, "Have You All Been Tricked?" What do you mean by that? What do you mean by tricked?
Are you talking about when I said Black women have been tricked?
Yeah,
that's correct. Yes.
See, look, that's because she knows she's wrong. That's because she knows she's wrong. When people start answering questions with the question, is because they look, when you ask a question. When you ask a question and someone answers it with the question, it's because if they answer the question, it's like an unconscious part of us, like people. I don't even mean just women, but women tend to do this a little more often. Okay, a lot more often. Women tend to do this a lot more often. Answering a question with a question, because if you really answered the question, you'd be getting a little bit closer to the truth. You would be getting that other person would be getting a little bit closer to the truth. And so it's answering questions with the question doesn't even make sense. When you ask a question, you get an answer. You don't ask more. You don't answering questions with a question is a deflection.
Tricked into being
like she said, you mean when I said you said it. And now I don't like that. Like this was your information. I asked you about what you said, and you're like, well, what do you mean? I said what? Huh? With all that energy, you don't remember? You don't know who you're saying tricks Black women? Like, I don't understand.
What are you mean? Are you talking about when I said Black women have been tricked?
Don't be confused. Why are you
That's
confused?
correct. Yes.
Tricked into being independent, tricked into being matriarch, tricked into doing everything for themselves, tricked into having so much pride that they're using defenses to say, yeah, I don't need it. I did this. I don't need this guy to help me.
And I want y'all to remember, you might have forgotten because she said so much about her education. This is a psychoanalyst. This is someone who I don't think she has a therapy license. She's a psychoanalyst. This is someone who is in academia, someone who can publish research, someone who's got doctor in front of their name.
I did it all by myself. I have this, I have that, braggadocious behavior, prideful behavior. It's defense. They're just defenses.
Okay. What are the defenses? Are I'm strong and independent? Is that what you're saying? Is the defense?
The defense is that there are many missing Black men in the homes, fathers, uncles, grandpas. There are a high rate of single.
This is already just not making sense. Like, this isn't a normal line of like questioning. This isn't linear. He said, what are the defenses? And she said, the defenses are Black men aren't in the homes. Like, that's a total, we just, what?
The defense is that there are many missing Black men in the homes.
She just wanted to say that. That's the thing. Some people just want to say it.
Fathers, uncles, grandpas, there are a high rate of single households in the Black culture. And so there are a lot of single parent households, a lot of children, illegitimate children born, and a lot of single moms. And so a lot of women have been tricked into fornicating.
Tricked.
You know, a lot of people,
Yes.
a lot of women have been tricked into being independent.
Tricked into fornicating? Tricked into fornicating. So we know what fornication means. Y'all know what fornication means. To have relations outside of marriage. Ladies, come on. Ladies, y'all need to follow Jeff, Ask a Brother podcast. He's doing amazing things. Men get tapped into his men's group. Definitely follow his page if you're not already. You probably are following it, so if you're not, you're late. But look, ladies, you got to be honest. A lot of the time, if you were not married to that man, let me say 98% of the time, 99% of the time, ain't no trickery going on. Let's keep it very simple. It was not a trick. It's not you weren't tricked. You weren't tricked. Okay. You chose to do that. That huge majority of the time, like, cut that out. Tricked into fornicating is just wild. It's just wild. Like, what would that even look like? I'm not even gonna get into that. It's just not true. And we're not gonna entertain it like that's even an option.
They're providing for them.
Like that's even one of the answers on the test. I should just be process of elimination. Did I get tricked into having relations with this man that I'm not married to? Process of elimination. No, it's not. It's definitely not that one. You know how on a test they would tell you, the teachers would tell you, if you don't know the answer, go to the ones where it's definitely not and start there, right? It's good advice. Like, you don't know the answer. Let's look at what the alternatives are. Let's cross out the ones you know is definitely not. It's definitely not that. It's definitely not that you were tricked into fornicating. That's not what it was.
You know, a lot of women have been tricked into being independent, providing for themselves, being extraordinarily successful because the men are missing in the culture. So it's like, okay, well, I don't need them. It's a defense.
So who tricked? I'm still struggling with the term tricked. Who tricked the women?
Dr. Ellie's funny. He's funny.
Who tricked them?
But when I say trick, I just mean
answer the question.
If you don't have a father figure in your household, and you as a result become a super defended person, well, I don't need it. You've been tricked. You've been tricked into believing.
The reason why, y'all, this is confusing is because it's like, huh? What is she saying? Because it doesn't actually make sense. He's asking direct questions. He said, "Who tricked them?" And now we're going on to some kind of, let's go run it back. Let's just run it back. This doesn't make any sense.
In your household.
Because again, remember, when people just won't answer the question, it's because if I answer it, you're going to get a little bit closer to the truth. And I don't want you to get closer to the truth. So I'm going to deflect away from it by just telling you some kind of what? I don't even know what. But
when I say trick, I just mean
what to call that.
If you don't have a father figure in your household, and you as a result become a super defended person, well, I don't need it. You've been tricked. You've been tricked into believing, I don't need this male figure. I don't need this masculine energy. That's what I mean by you've been tricked. You've been tricked into believing that I'm a strong, independent woman. You know, sisters be doing it for ourselves. You've been tricked into doing everything for yourself. That's what I mean.
Okay, I get it now. This is literally like the fifth, sixth time I had to hear it. I get it now. She's using the word tricked, but what she's saying is, let me translate. Sometimes I got to hear it a couple times. Okay, let me see. Let me translate it. What she's saying is, because of the environment, because of the home, the kind of home that you grew up in, you have the impression that a home structure can be without a man and it's okay, that you can be this independent woman and it's okay. And actually there is a better way, is what she's saying. Okay. That's what she's saying when she's saying tricked.
Okay, I got you about that, but to be tricked indicates that someone did the tricking.
Right.
So I'm just curious as to who tricked the woman, black woman, in your words, these are your words, who tricked the black woman into this place of creating these
Who left the black woman? Who left
well,
the
that's I mean, that's what I'm asking. I'm asking you to explain it, what you're saying.
Yeah. Okay, so if I explain it and then you don't like my answer, then that's that I can only give you what I know. So we can go back to slavery, where the black men were removed from families, and black women were made to become strong mentally, and black men were designed to be mentally weak and physically strong. And so a lot of families were ripped apart during slavery, and then that just kind of continued. We can go back into the 70s when black men were removed from the household. I mean, you know, we can start anywhere. But what I do
I that's what I'm trying to get to is your analysis that you just said just now, and I think a little bit in the video that you said, is that there is a lack of men in the home, and I want to get to that in a minute there.
In the community.
And now you're saying in the community, okay. We'll unpack that in a second here, but but you're saying that they were tricked. I'm just asking who did the tricking. That's what I'm saying. And so we acknowledge, or are you acknowledging that men are vital parts of the community for its protection, for its leadership, for stability, and
that is what I'm saying. That is what I'm saying.
Okay. And so therefore, men in particular have been, women in particular, black women in particular, have been tricked out of what you're saying, and what I had another author, Dr. Diane Stewart, on, saying that this is exactly what you said, you know, go back to slavery, go back to the 70s, go back to the 60s, that something happened. And so therefore we're in this particular place right now. So that's kind of what you're acknowledging is that someone did the tricking. And I'm just asking you to narrow down who it was that was tricked. Was it other black women that tricked them? Was it white women who tricked them through the feminist movement?
Look, he said, let me just give you some options. Pick one.
Was it black men who tricked them? Who tricked them into getting into this particular place?
Since you can't just answer the question, let me give you A, B, C, D. Pick one.
That's all I'm asking.
No, I mean, we can start with the opponent, the enemy. We can start there. The enemy is always behind demonic things happening.
It's just so I'm probably pausing it too much. I think I'll get used to the flow. But I just want another through line here. Again, not just answer. You can't just answer the question, because if you answer the question, then you have to be held accountable for your answer. So you do all this roundabout stuff. And then when you find, he said, is it this person? Is it this group? Is it this group? Or is it this group? She said, none of that. It's Satan. And you know what? We could make the argument, but here's the issue, y'all. Here's one of the issues here's one of the problems with this. Is that when she's going to go so far off the ground into the seventh heaven to talk about how we got here. It's purely Satan. Okay. So what the hell are we supposed to do with that? I don't want to entertain this. Like, we should be entertaining it for real. Like what are we supposed to do with that? Call Satan in the room and say, Satan, please stop. Okay, then what I would do if I was Dr. L, then who did Satan influence to then create, who then made the decisions that created these circumstances? Fine. Okay, if you want to go up to the seventh heaven, okay, pull that down and come down to earth and tell me then. Since you know so much, you a decoder, right? You're a decoder. You know how to unravel these spiritual mysteries. You got a podcast, you've been doing it for years. Tell me then, spiritual decoder. If it's Satan, then tell me. Maybe you know something I don't. Sure, then bring Satan that. Tell me what is he doing? What is he doing? Who is he impacting? We need to let them know that they're being greatly influenced, and this is how they're doing it. Since you're the decoder, But anyway, y'all see how ridiculous this is?
You know, that's one. You know, slavery, that's another.
Like-
The 60s, the 70s, that's another. Being sexualized, music, that's another. Having to provide for oneself because the men were just, there was a decline. And so now there's all these independent single women. So the video wasn't to not acknowledge that other stuff. It was just to kind of motivate Black American. I'm not talking about Black women in general, just Black American women, to learn how to be more open and learn how to understand that, like, the single rates are very high because you've been tricked into being prideful. Because it doesn't matter if it's the feminist movement, it doesn't matter if we go back to slavery, it doesn't matter what we choose. You've been bamboozled, like, you know, period.
Well, I think I hear what you're saying, but I think it does matter, because I think that you have to identify who tricked you, why they did it, and what the plan is to do something about that tricking. I think that's the point. To be tricked is a volatile word, and it implies intention. It implies, you know, deceit, deception, and with intention. And if somebody sets out to trick you, they're trying to get something from you. They're trying, right? You're a biblical person, right? The thief comes, but to kill, to steal, and to destroy. That's trickery. So
the real trick is the devil, then, right?
No, well, that's what you're saying. That's not what I'm saying. That's what you're saying.
Not,
but I'm saying that somewhere along the lines there was a tricking and there was an intentional deceit. That's what I'm saying. And when I'm just trying to
Honestly,
hone in on.
I feel like the way she's even sitting she's not even taking it. I feel like it's just, you're not even sitting up straight. I feel like I have to be like, okay, it just feels very childish and immature. And I feel like you're not taking this seriously, or you're just not a serious person.
Who did that tricking and what your plan is to do about that. So I want to move on from that particular point. So
sarcastic smiling.
I get what you said a lot about, okay, you know, this has happened to Black women. But then what I didn't appreciate is the attack on Black men. And I'm assuming this is what you meant when you listed off all these numbers about incarceration. I'm going to play it again, but I want to hear exactly what you said, because I want to get it correctly, and I'm going to stop it every time. Hold on, let me add this to the stage here, because I want to focus in on what you said here, so we can get it right. Y'all hit the like button too.
This is what the stats are showing. The lowest marital rates, the last to get married in America.
Okay, so let's just stop right there. Why is it that Black women, in your opinion, and you said stats don't matter, so it's going to be your opinion, which I'm assuming you can back up with data. Why is it that Black women, right? Why is it that Black women have the lowest rates?
Why? Well, because you guys aren't marrying Black women. You guys are, you have to ask for someone's hand in marriage, right? Black American men are the least to get married amongst all cultures, amongst all Black men in general. So you guys aren't asking. So you guys aren't marriage minded. You guys don't have gurus. You guys don't have your mentors. The average Black American man does not value marriage. Listen to the music.
Okay, let's look at the body language. Let's look at because that's kind of where let's look at, I just mentioned the body language. Let's go back just a couple seconds. Okay. Dr. L, what he did was he took her video
among married Black women.
Right. Stop right there.
He said, explain yourself.
This is what the stats are showing.
And let's watch how the body language is about to change. It's already poor. The body language is already poor. I mean, you leaning over like this, like, it's not serious. It's not respectful. We're going to start right there.
The lowest marital rates, the last to get married in America.
Okay, so let's just stop.
Can't even clean off the camera. You know what I mean?
Right there. Why is it that Black women, in your opinion, and you said stats don't matter, so it's going to be your opinion, which I'm assuming you can back up with data. Why is it that Black women, right? Why is it that Black women have the lowest rates?
Okay. Direct question. Why does Why do Black women have the lowest rates? Now she has to think about. Now she has to go up. The eyes are rolling up and over. She has to go into her imagination. I'm not playing, y'all. She had to go into her imagination. Look at it. You got to go back into and find something to make this make sense. That's just not in reality. It's somewhere in the something that she came up with.
Why? Well, because you guys aren't marrying Black women.
See, see, it's a very lazy answer. And it's
least to get married amongst.
And now it's obviously completely Black men's faults because you're not marriage minded. It can't
Black
be
women
because of this attitude.
You guys are you have to ask for someone's hand in marriage, right? Black American men are the least to get married amongst all cultures, amongst all Black men in general. So you guys aren't asking. So you guys aren't marriage minded. You guys don't have gurus. You guys don't have your mentors. The average Black American man does not value marriage.
And look at the contempt. I want y'all to get used to what contempt is. I'm gonna give you the definition of contempt. Contempt, the feeling that a person or a thing is beneath consideration, worthless, or deserving scorn. Someone just said in the comments, this is all projection. She's saying Black men basically think that Black women are not worth consideration. But look at the difference in the way that Dr. L is treating her. Look at his body language compared to the way that she is treating him and talking to him. Who is the one with contempt? Let's go back. I want you to think about that word contempt. The feeling that a person or a thing is beneath consideration, worthless, or deserving scorn. Who is the one with the contempt here?
So you guys aren't asking. So you guys aren't marriage minded. You guys don't have.
Did you see? Can I see myself right here? Look, all this, like, when it's almost like doing all this shaking and stuff, and all this, like, what? It's like that's kind of that aggression, right? Like that's like these are aggressive nonverbal signals. Like it's because it like, and so when you get a kind of feeling in your body when someone's doing that, it's because someone is behaving in an aggressive manner and you're reacting as if they're about to attack. And that's what's happening right now. And it's gonna get worse, but this is just the start.
Have gurus, you guys don't have your mentors. The average Black American man does not value marriage. Listen to the music.
I want you to look at this. Because the point of this, we're talking about Black women's attitudes, and this is in every single tier of society here. And I want us to go back and look. This is important, ladies. You have to understand, it's not just your verbals, it's also your nonverbals. And I want you to look at the eyebrows, look at the eyes, look at the head shaking and all of that.
Asking. So you guys aren't marriage minded. You guys don't have gurus. You guys don't have your mentors. The average Black American man does not value marriage. Listen to the music. Listen to look at the average Black man. He's not marriage minded.
Well, so there's more Black men who are
sarcastic smiling. Really, really is like is really gross to me.
Married than there are Black women, and there's 2 million
more
by
a small percentage. Let me tell you,
the brow is starting to get involved here.
30. I think it's let's see. I think let's say 37. If it's 33% of Black women in America are married, it's maybe 37% of Black American men are, but also it's showing that 21% of them are married to other. So a lot of them are not marrying Black women or not marrying at all. So the average Black American man does not value marriage because he doesn't understand that two heads are better.
So do y'all see how we got to this conclusion, right? So Black women, this is what she's saying. Black women are least married. True. Okay. Black women are least married. Black men are least married. They're more married than Black women. Question being, why are Black women the least married? And she's saying it's basically her bottom line is it's because Black men don't value marriage. If the problem is the value that Black men put on marriage. The problem is not that Black men cannot find suitable Black women to marry. That's what she's saying.
The one, he doesn't understand that favor is added to your life when you marry a woman. favor is added to your life. There aren't enough gurus, there aren't enough mentors, and there's a lot of Black American men that would rather say, you women are the problem. Only in the Black American culture will you find men that blame women. Let me tell you something. I have X chromosomes, right?
See, look, I mean, that's hard to get past right there. But let me tell you something. It's very mom, right? She just kind of tried to sun him. And he's like so non-reactive to it. But that's what that was.
Culture will you find men that blame women. Let me tell you something. I have X chromosomes,
My
right?
goodness.
You do too, but I have XX. You have XY. I have estrogen. You have testosterone. Who's the stronger vessel? Is testosterone stronger than estrogen? Is the Y chromosome stronger than the X chromosome?
Energy.
So then, with that being said, how is it that in the Black American culture, there are
Babe, you know, she's talking about guru. I think she's talking about gurus because she puts a lot of value on gurus. Like she says she's talked about a mentor that she has. And I think she places value on gurus. She's like, you guys don't have gurus, you don't have mentors, you don't have these people, because I think she puts a lot of value. She probably thinks that, now this is me putting something on her. She did not claim that she's a guru, but it seems like the type that would want to be. Okay. Seems like the type that would want to be. She wants people to, and you know, I've noticed this, y'all, and I won't get on this because this is the point, is not to talk about what I like, my stuff. But I've noticed that, I hate to say it, but I have to say it. We're at that point. We're at that point where I'll see like older single Black women take on a guru type of personality. And then they will, I talked about this like 2 years ago. They will try, and I've talked about it last year too. They'll like try to house women, like try to bring the younger women in so that they feel like they get their ego fed. And they're like, I'm spiritually pouring into these women. And really they're like creating more thems so that they don't have to feel alone, because I think a part of them is really scared, you know, they're going to end up alone. And so they need like the padding of all of these women who become like dependent on them, and they'll take on some kind of, they'll literally just appropriate spiritual authority that cannot be verified or validated. And unfortunately, young, naive women who are looking for guidance can get behind people like this, and it's sad.
How is it that in the Black American culture, there are cultures that are matriarch, but it's an agreed upon.
Let me rewind. Sorry, y'all. I'm gonna rewind it a little bit.
Tell you something. I have X chromosomes, right? You do too, but I have XX. You have XY. I have estrogen. You have testosterone. Who's the stronger vessel? Is testosterone stronger than estrogen?
And look at you see that comment in the corner, your conclusion is off, by Game Changer in the corner there. And the problem is, y'all, women, when someone's telling you that, you might want to take it seriously. You might be drawing the wrong conclusion. And she is drawing a lot of inaccurate conclusions.
Is the Y chromosome stronger than the X chromosome? So then, with that being said, how is it that in the Black American culture, there are cultures that are matriarch, but it's an agreed upon thing. So in this Black American culture that is matriarch, women are running the show. Women are head. Women are more educated. Women are more successful. Black American women are the highest educated group amongst all cultures and races. Why is that? And with that,
you keep saying this stuff, but none. That's not true. That's not true.
Okay,
I let you go. I let you go on for a little.
That was good. Okay, he's like, I cannot take this anymore. I can't take it.
It is true,
it's
but
not true. It's not true. I've been through the numbers.
Okay, well, they have
true.
higher education. They have higher educational rates than Black men. That's for sure.
Okay.
That's for sure. Black American men. That's for sure. And so,
right.
So this is the only group where the men blame the women. How can a woman be stronger than you as a man? There are not enough men leading. There are not enough men that are representing Ephesians 5, which is being head, which is being a protector, being a provider, loving a woman like Christ loved the church. There is not enough men doing that. We are not, women, Black American women are not being led. They're not being led. So they are independent, many of them. They are defended, many of them. They have a, I don't need a man attitude.
Okay, so it can't be two things at once. Either black men are not leading, or it's that they have this strong independent attitude. So
No. Black men aren't leading, and so that's what's leading to the strong independent attitude.
Whoa. Whoa, don't you wish you could pause people in real life like this? Because it's like that's too much energy coming at you. It's he was pointing out, I don't think that was the strongest argument he could have made right there, but honestly, I think he's dealing with a lot. I think he's dealing with a lot. And I know I talked to Dr. L about this podcast. I told him I was going to do this reaction video. He was dealing with a lot coming at him, and it was just, not expected. You don't think that someone's, he did not expect this was going to happen. I don't think that was the strongest argument, but point being, it didn't require that kind of response.
Either black men are not leading.
Sorry.
Okay, so it can't be two things at once. Either black men are not leading, or it's that they have this strong independent attitude. So
No. Black men aren't leading, and so that's what's leading to the strong independent attitude.
Okay, so but what about there are black men who are leading? There's more marriages.
How many? 5 of them? 5 of them?
Okay, so now we're going to get into pejoratives. You're the one that's talking about stats. So we know that 54% of black men.
Women, when you start doing stuff like that, like when you get now you've just gone. Obviously, it's not just 5 black men, and then when you start doing when you start with this like hyperbolic talk, it's exaggerated speech. You really just can't be taken seriously. And honestly, like, Dr. L he's got to carry on this interview, and it's a really uncomfortable position to be in on his part. But now that we have the video, we can pause it and stuff and use it to understand what's happening in real life. If somebody is going to be hyperbolic and use exaggerated language like that to the point where obviously what you just said is not true, we are not going to go further in the conversation. If you're willing to just put out untruths and you're being sarcastic, disrespectful, those are already issues. But now at this point, you're putting things out there, not even as if they're fact. You're being sarcastic. We cannot continue on having a serious conversation. The conversation we have to time out right there, and everything got to come on down. Everything needs to tone down. First of all, you need to sit up straight when you're talking to me. Second of all the hand motions and stuff, sit on your hands if you need to. I don't care what you do, but you can't do all this. Okay. And we're not going to use exaggerated speech. Say what it is you say. We can disagree, but to be, sarcastic and exaggerating and all that, we're not having a serious conversation at this point. And then I'm not going to treat you like, I'm not going to treat this conversation like it's serious, because you're just not being serious. You're not being a serious person. So you have to calm down. And sometimes when someone's telling you to calm down, it's because they mean it. Like all of that. Don't tell me to calm down. Well, you're too hyped. That's why you do need to calm down. Listen. I think we need to bring back, people say bring back shame. They always say that stuff under my post. We need to bring back shame. I'm not for that, because shame is not, shame just literally just isn't proven to change behavior. Now, what I do think we need to do is bring back judgment. And I think judgment and shame are very much related. But, and there is a difference between shaming and being, and feeling ashamed. And there is a lot of distinctions in there. Anyway, I don't just co-sign people saying bring back shame, because I need to understand what it is that you mean. We probably, plenty of us probably agree, but it's just also important that I say, make it clear that shame is not a motivator in general. Okay. I say that to say, I think we do need to bring back judgment. We do need to be able to make judgments. We need to be able to make judgment calls. We're making judgment calls all the time, right? When you're picking up fruit in the grocery store, you look at it and you judge which one is good or bad based on how it looks, how it feels to you. Okay, we need to be able to make judgments. We're making judgments all of the time. We also need to bring back calm down. I think, let me go ahead and make
I come from a patriarch family.
No, wish we could do that for her in real life. But I think we need to bring back calm down, because if you're truly dysregulated, like she clearly is, like she's getting so hyped, she's getting out of control. It's getting a little bit, it's getting too spicy. We need to bring back calm down, because if you are too hyped, you do need to calm down. Okay. So when you get all mad, now you're mad that someone's telling you to calm down. Well, it would help, right? So what's the problem? You just don't want to be told. Now, I also, I can also say, yeah, it's typically not received well. But if the reality is that you do need to be calm, you need to be more calm so we can get through this conversation, then I think you have to take that feedback seriously.
Where men lead. There are not many women, Black American women, that come from a patriarch family. So
Okay,
you're okay. So five of you are leading, right?
Yeah, right. So
okay,
so we're
that's
getting
not,
into
that's not a lot of
so
you.
we're getting into pejoratives here about
That's
five
not a
of
lot
us
of
leading. Right. Black
Okay.
men make more than Black women on average.
Okay.
So I'm just trying to understand, where you're coming from with this. So your stats are
Okay.
off. 85% of those who are married, 85% of those Black men who are married to Black women, right?
Okay.
So also,
and majority of them aren't married at all. Okay.
and that's something we all got to do something about, right?
Yeah. Yes, we do. We all need to do something about it. I agree.
When somebody, gentlemen and ladies, you got to recognize when your voice is starting to get up like that. Like, gentlemen, you need to recognize it in women, and women, you need to recognize it in yourself. You're your first line of defense, okay? But when you start getting all up like that, that probably means we need to take a timeout. Obviously, they're in an interview, so they are just like driving this train to wherever the hell they're about to go. But that's a sign of like dysregulation. Okay, like, right? How do I sound right now, and how does she sound right now? So that's a what's happening in your voice is a reflection of what's happening in your nervous system. And so when you get all up in your chest and in your throat and it's and you start doing all that, it's probably a sign that you need to calm down. And you can calm down by taking like a 5-minute break. You probably need a little bit more than 5 minutes. Take a 20-minute walk around the block.
Also,
and majority of them aren't married at all. Okay.
That's something we all got to do something about, right?
Yeah. Yes, we do. We all need to do something about it. I agree.
Right, but the point is, but you brought up these statistics, and then you brought up about not marrying within your culture. I want to get to that in a little bit, and your reasons for doing this, right? So that's a little bit about what we played right there, right? So let me just continue on with this. We'll get into more stuff here in a second.
And the highest divorce rates. Why?
Why do we have the highest divorce rates? They get married and they have the highest divorce rates.
Because they're considering Black American men. They're saying that there's a marriageable pool, and that due to like economics, education, not feeling equally yoked, a lot of Black American women, or in general, are not happily married. So they do have the highest divorce rates amongst all women, Black women of other cultures and other races, because they're saying that there's just a lower rate of like marriageable, equally yoked, equally educated,
Unreal.
Men, or equally consistently financially earning Black men. So that's why they're saying that the divorce rates are high. But
if Black men on average,
so they're not getting married because Black men don't value marriage. But they're not getting married because Black men don't value marriage. And then when they do find a Black man that values marriage enough to marry her, she's not happy enough to stay. Let's just use your own line of reasoning and let's see if that makes sense. Okay. So,
make more than Black women on average. Why are they not still finding these earning men?
This is what I will say. I think men on an average make more than women on average. I don't think we know that to be true. And I don't have a problem with that, to be honest. But on average, the Black American man is extraordinarily less educated than a Black American woman. That doesn't mean he's beneath her. It's
not extraordinarily. If there's just something like 30% of Black women have a bachelor's and up, 30%. You know what the number is for men? 26%. That's not extraordinary. It's not extraordinary.
Well, I went to a historical Black college, so it was a lot of men there. But everybody goes to college. Well, not everybody, but a lot of people go to college and they don't graduate. But we're talking about those 25 and up who have graduated from college, who are Black people. 30% of them have 30% of Black women
above the age of 25 have a bachelor's degree.
Did you see
number
that?
is 26%.
Look at this. This is unreal, y'all. I didn't even know. This is unreal. Look, let's go back. Look at. So I was looking at him because he was talking. And now I'm looking at her. Watch her as he's talking. This man, he gets tripped up on one word, and watch her face. This is contempt. Okay, this is disrespect. If this was not an interview, this is a conversation that you should not continue with somebody in real life, because this is the kind of stuff. This can get really spicy and really seriously combative in real life, and you do not want that.
Everybody, but a lot of people go to college and they don't graduate. But we're talking about those 25 and up who have graduated from college, who are Black people. 30% of them have 30% of Black women above the age of 25 have a bachelor's degree. That number is 26% for men, Black men.
Okay, so here's the thing, Dr. L. I want you to, when we finish this video, when we finish this interview, I want you to send me 200 Black American men with bachelor's degrees. 200,
right.
and I'll send you 200 women with bachelor's degrees.
Right.
Let me tell you, I know them. I have 200.
I thought stats mattered. I gave you the stats. Now they don't matter.
I have 200 women in my phone with bachelor's degree. You don't. Let's just talk about what's real.
How do you know what I have in my phone?
The average Black American man does not have a bachelor's degree. The average Black American man does not have a master's degree. The average Black American man does not have a doctorate degree. That's just the honest to God truth.
But that's probably true for I'm trying to think. That's probably true for most of America, right? So, I think only white women have an average of that. That's like 50% of white women have a bachelor's degree.
So let me just finish answering your question, right? Because the average Black American woman is more educated, is has more, less incarceration rates, less mental illness rates, less gang violence rate, they live longer. The research is showing that a lot of the Black American men they have a shorter life expectancy with gang violence and just not taking care of oneself. And so they're not considered, the marriageable pool is unequal. That's all.
It's like
that's just what it is. The marriageable pool is unequal for Black American women and Black American men. Black American men and Black American women are not equals politically for the most part. It's just more Black women that are thriving. I don't.
Ladies, I just talk to women real quick. Ladies, if your friends are talking like this, and she's very, but ladies, when you have friends who even have seeds, it's even close to this, where it's even in the ballpark, where it's even in the neighborhood, it's in the ballpark. You got friends like this, you got family members like that. If you got anybody like that around you, you need to absolutely distance, because this is so toxic. This is so toxic. I don't have an issue with people who have issues. Okay. I have an issue with the way that you manage the issues that you have with other people or with yourself, or the issues that you have with whatever parts of your life. It's the way that you manage the issues. So you could have problems with, how men are showing up or whatever. You can have issues with the incarceration rates, the divorce rates and all of that. But the way you go about it really matters. And so if you got people around that, they have any seeds of this is just not something that you want. The only reason why, y'all, when I stopped it, I watched 50 minutes of this on my own, and then I stopped it because I said I was going to do a reaction video for it, and I didn't. So I wanted the rest of it to be, stuff I had never seen. And it's draining, right? It's draining to watch. And we're using this for case study purposes and doing things. We will do these things for the record, but it's just stuff is just like hard to watch. Honestly, it's hard to listen to, but it's important that we be real about what's going on out here. This person is out here like, giving people advice and stuff, and probably has like mentees. She seems like the type that would have mentees and giving people this information. Goodness gracious.
I don't think that there are not more Black American men that are thriving or making more money. They're not. A lot. The average Black American man has a basic blue collar job or something.
Wow.
And what's wrong with a blue collar job?
Nothing.
54% of Black men. Well, there's obviously something wrong because they seem to be getting passed over, and you said that with a little bit of disdain in your voice.
Well, you
So
know,
if the average Black man, 54% of the Black men are in the middle class. That's average. 54%.
No. I don't know. That's not true.
Okay, these numbers, the
That's
Black
not true.
Manosphere has it's absolutely true. You can go to blackdemographics.com. You can go you can go through all that, right? So then we're gonna continue playing with this. We're gonna continue
because Black American women have been tricked into this strong, independent, matriarchal, sisters be doing it for themselves. I don't need no man. I'm not dating outside of my culture or race mentality. You have been tricked, shook. You have been lied to.
The thing is, how are Black women we're so smart, can get every single degree you want, but was tricked out of how to have a family? Tricked out of how to, you just couldn't pass that test, can't figure out what it doesn't make sense. That doesn't make sense. So when people make these kinds of arguments, I mean, we're the most educated, we're so much better than everybody else, but we were tricked into not having a man. Don't make no sense. The most natural biological thing to do, right? Like have children and have kids in a protected environment, because as she said, you're the weaker vessel, right? Who has the testosterone? The man. So you need to be in an environment with a man who is able to protect you and these children. Okay, it's a biological imperative. So a natural thing that you would do for survival, so the most basic primal stuff. So but can pass every single test at school. This don't make no sense, y'all. Doesn't make any sense. So don't let people we need to, and that's what maybe these reaction videos, I think is going to be one of the things I want to be able to do is help you deal with arguments, right? How to break down people's arguments, because it's very easy. It doesn't make any sense, but you have to stay grounded enough yourself. And men, you have to understand that all of y'all don't stay grounded enough to have these conversations with people. Because not everybody's worth having a conversation with, but sometimes you just have a disagreement and like a different perspectives and stuff. And you need to be able to stay grounded and regulated enough to stay through the conversation and help her to be able to see the faults without getting so dysregulated yourself. And shutting down is dysregulation. I'm just going to be honest with you. We'll talk about this another time. We need to understand how to be in conflict and to stay regulated enough. I think what Dr. L is not doing great here is really breaking down her arguments, because she's so all over the place. And when she's so all over the place and we're taking it seriously, like, oh, maybe that means something, then we don't just stay on track and actually break down the arguments that she's making. Make sense? But I think he's honestly, he's thinking about a lot of things, right? He has an audience that's watching this. He's got to try to get through this interview. I know he doesn't want to be disrespectful, right? Or say something crazy. So that's a difficult thing to do in this position. I'm sure if this was not online in public and on his platform, he'd probably handle it a lot differently. But I just think it's a lot to manage when somebody's coming at you with such energy. I think so. Hey, Yenny, we are doing my first reaction video. So just jump in here.
You've been taught to stick to a ghost, to be loyal to men who don't show up to you, men who have the highest rates of imprisonment, have the highest rates.
Very true.
What do you mean by highest rates of imprisonment? What do you mean by that?
Incarceration, mass incarceration.
What percentage of what percentage of those who are imprisoned are Black men?
I think Black.
I misstated that. Of those who are imprisoned, what percentage of them are Black men?
What I can say is this: I can't answer that one.
So you don't know. You don't know.
No,
but you made the statement. But you made this statement on here.
Listen, are you going to let me answer the question?
We're going to see. She's not going to answer the question. I think we are going to answer the question. ladies, you have to be able to say, I don't know. Now, she in the video said highest rates of incarceration. I think that that's a fair statement to make. I think to say that Black men are have the highest rates of incarceration is a fair statement to make, because I think that that's true. I think that's true. That does not, that you're right. There's all of these factors that are associated with that. But gentlemen, the bottom line, right? Highest rates of incarceration. It's a big problem. It's not placing blame on any particular thing. That's not what this conversation is right now about that. But what I'm saying is, her saying that is not untrue. The issue is that she couldn't just be okay. She couldn't just say that. She couldn't just say, I don't know the rate. I do think that Black men have the highest rates of incarceration. I don't know the stat. Instead, because she refuses to be caught. She refuses to be wrong. She refuses to be seen as if she doesn't know, because that's going to take her off of the pedestal she's put herself on. She can't just say, I don't know. And when you can't say, I don't know, or I was wrong, you are much less credible. And when you have a more credible argument when you are able to admit when you don't know, or that you were wrong. You're a more credible person, I should say. I should say this, not even the word credible. You're a more trustworthy person when you can say, I don't know, or I was wrong. But she cannot do that, because it's going to take her off the pedestal that she has of herself in her own head. So it doesn't make you look like when people are trying to look good by being right all the time, it makes you look bad.
You're saying you don't know, but you made the statement.
No, I don't know that part.
Disparaging Black men.
I knew this was going to.
But you made this statement. You put the statement out in your psychotherapy.
And I have to say this, because we're talking about attitude, right? So I'm going to pause it here, because that's exactly what will happen. She said, I knew what this was going to be. When she came with all this energy for 40 minutes straight, came with that. Now, Dr. L's getting fed the hell up, as we all would. All reasonable people would be fed up, would be tired, drained for being in this conversation. Dr. L, for the first time, he's got his pen in hand. He's getting upset. Okay, he's getting upset. He's like, no, pause. This is wrong. This is wrong. And now he's starting to get, his energy starting to come up. And the moment that happened, she starts sarcastically smiling like, I got him. Y'all, this is very toxic. And this happens in people's houses, in people's homes. It's very sad. It's very sad. But she was like, I knew what this was going to be. And she literally the entire time was, antagonizing this man. And he was trying to stay calm this whole time. But it's only, honestly, y'all, it's only so much somebody can take. This was crazy. This was crazy. And then the moment he starts to be like, I'm so sick of this, it's, I knew what this was going to be. This was what always happens. Like, well.
On here.
Listen, are you going to let me answer the question?
You're saying you don't know, but you made the statement.
No, I don't know that part,
disparaging Black men.
I knew this was going
to but you made the statement. You put the statement out in your psychotherapist.
I'm not a psychotherapist. I'm an analyst.
Go ahead.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I'm not a therapist. Okay. And even if I was one, what does that have to do with what we're talking about now? Are you my client? No. So with that being said, that it's, I don't know the exact number of how many Black American men are in jail. I know it's higher than white. I know it's higher than African. I know it's higher than Asian and Hispanic in general. But what I do know is that there's a higher number of them that are incarcerated in comparison to Black American women. We're just talking about Black American women, not Africans, not Caribbeans. We're not talking about Belizeans. We're not talking about Samoans. We're not talking about Cape Verdeans. We're talking about Black American men. There are more of you guys incarcerated or who have felonies than in comparison to Black American women. That's all I'm talking about. All we're saying is that
where are you getting these numbers from? I'm asking where you getting these numbers from. That's what I'm asking.
You can Google this stuff. You can read a book about it. It's obvious.
I did, but I want to know if you did.
Researcher, she just put it out.
I want to know if you did.
I read.
Okay, what numbers are you looking at?
I've read books. I've observed. I'm Black. I'm in the community. I see it. I worked in a jail. I actually worked in a jail, Twin Towers, LA County. You can check my file yourself. Like, I worked there. I know. And so I study culture. I study society. So it's like, true. I mean, come on, let's be honest. How many women do you know that are felonies? Black American women that are incarcerated that are felonies. I worked in a jail.
Yeah, but more men commit all kinds of crimes versus women. So that's not a fair comparison.
Okay, so then I'm right. Moving on. What I'm saying is that
you're putting men into it.
There are more incarcerated Black American men or Black American men with felonies in comparison to Black American women. I'm not saying that Black American men are inferior. What I am saying is that they have been unequally yoked to Black American women. So it's time for Black American women to open up themselves to men of other cultures, because Black American men have not met them in equality in terms of being equally yoked, being men of God, being spiritually led, being masculine. You know what I mean? Like, what real man goes back and forth with sass with a woman? You only see that with Black American men. I don't see that with other Black men in other cultures. So it's time for Black American women to open up the door to other. And we can go back and forth all day, but I can.
Who gonna take her though? That's why I had to say that. No, I wouldn't have said it if I was Dr. Yes, spicy. But who gonna take her though? Because now we out of the situation. Who gonna take her though? Ooh. She knows every single culture. She said, if you want, she said this, every single continent. But who gonna take her? Who? That's what I want to know. Okay. You can get somebody. Sure, there are a bunch of men that are not in prison. Okay, but I don't see them with you though. So where they had? Like what? And who gonna take you with all this? If I saw this, I'm gonna stop here. I'm gonna keep going with the video. I'm gonna pause on my.
Provide you hundreds on hundreds of good Black women who are Christian, who are educated, who have advanced degrees, who are in sororities, who are in college campuses, who are single because they are not finding their equal. They're not happy. They're not finding their equal in comparison to the other. We can do this. We can do more stats when we finish this interview. Find me 700 Black American men that are Christian, men of God, that know who God is. You know what I mean? That are following the word of God, who are educated, who are not incarcerated, no felonies, never been on drugs, no mental illness. We can do it. Find me 700. I can find you 700. Find me 1,000. I can compare. I can find you 1,000 people.
First it was 200. Now it's 700. Now it's 1,000.
200, so 700, 1,000, 20,000. Let's do it when we finish. We don't even have to go back and forth. We can actually do our own We can actually do our own naturalistic research when we finish this interview, and I can provide these numbers, like real people with real email addresses and telephone numbers. You can't.
But you're a PhD or a doctor. What do you have?
But you cannot match my stats that I can provide.
I absolutely can. And it's been done. Okay. So what roughly you said that in this thing here that there's about you said there were more, Black men have the most mental illness? Is that what you said?
Black American men, they're high case of it. Is
it high or is it?
What she said, let me go back because I was looking at the comments. Y'all's comments are good. I appreciate y'all engaging in the chat. We got to do more of this. We should do this more often.
Is that what you said? Excuse me. You said that in this thing here that there's about you said there were more, Black men have the most mental illness? Is that what you said?
Black American men, they're high case of it. Is
it high or is it? Here's what you said.
You want to play on words, but I don't.
Mental health issues, the highest rates of gang mentality.
What is
the highest of mental health issues?
You said the highest of mental health issues.
Mm-hmm.
So you're a psychoanalyst.
The least to go to therapy too.
Why is that?
To go to therapy. Research shows that men of color in general, Asian, Hispanic, and Black, and white, Men in general tend to go to therapy less. However, when they do, white men are leading in going to therapy, actually staying in and being committed to it. And when men of color do go to therapy, like Asian, Hispanic, black men are the lowest, and they don't commit. Research shows in general.
Because I mean, think about it. I mean, she's just throwing out a bunch of stuff, but not giving any context. Of course, that's what people do when they don't have a good argument. They don't have any context. So, or they leave a bunch of context out. Okay, black men aren't in therapy. First of all, you literally don't have the numbers. You literally do not have the numbers. So, I mean, anyway, but let's just give it to her, because I also don't think I'm not about to memorize every single percentage point, right? I'm not going to do all that. So but I think we also know in general, right? Let's say that black men are not in therapy as much as white men are. I'm pretty sure that sounds like that. I would say that's probably true. I would say that's probably true. What do I like? What's my evidence? My own like life. I don't have the number. I never read a research article that said that, honestly. I never read a research article that said black men don't go to therapy as much as white men. So it just kind of seems like it's true. Okay. Now I would say it seems like it's true. But when you have someone like this who has a background in psychology, she says she's not a psychotherapist. She's very clear she's not a psychotherapist, and that's a good thing. It's good that she's not a psychotherapist. But when you have someone who's essentially representing the field, and she's representing the field of psychology. That's where all her degrees and all that stuff in the that she said at the beginning. She took about 18 minutes talking about all the things she did in her education. You guys you're representing you're representing the field of psychology. Who would see this woman? What man? What man? What man struggling with his mental health, struggling with his emotional health, or just wanting improvement in his mental health, improvement in his emotional health, improvement in his relationships? Who would see her as a representative of the mental health field and say, I think I want to check it out. I want to check it out. That seems safe. That seems helpful. Who gonna do that? Only someone who is truly used to abuse and some sick environments would do that. So it's like, I mean, acknowledge all of it. Why would black men be going to therapy if with a representative like you? And maybe that's the question that Dr. L should have asked.
The black people usually don't. They may go, but they don't stay. But Black American men rarely, if ever, go to therapy. Black men in general.
Someone who feels this way about you cannot help you.
But black men the lowest.
Okay, I asked why that was.
It could be because of the pressure of you're a man, figure it out. In the culture, in people of color communities, there's a heavy weight on family and pastors and things like that, so it hasn't really been a popular thing in our culture. We're sort of behind in that sense, like we're catching up, but Caucasians are leading in that and taking advantage of services.
Okay, well, we finally got there in terms of services. So what, in terms of rates of comparative rates between black women and black men, who has more instances of mental illness?
It would definitely be black American men leading in that. But it's not. It's.
Are you just making this up? Did you really read this stat? You knew what I was going to ask you about this. You asked me what I was going to ask you. I asked you to review your video. So you're going to sit here and tell us that black men have the highest rates of mental illness?
In comparison? Yeah, probably. Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What is gang violence?
It also depends on the disorder. Just like women tend to be diagnosed.
Hey, Tarika, she said she's making this up. And you're right. Yeah, Black people in general don't go to therapy, so it's not specific to Black men. Absolutely good point.
With histrionic or bipolar more. And then men might be diagnosed with, so we also can see biases and things like that too. So there are sort of like
Dr. L taking a mental break. Dr. L said, yeah, he's taking I think he's taking a mental break right here. He was like, okay, I need a second.
Stats that show women might be diagnosed more in like this area than men. Like research shows that men are diagnosed with sociopathy more than you'll see women. That doesn't mean women can't have it. You'll just see more cases.
Okay, so here's something from the National Institute of Mental Health. Mental health treatment received past year among U.S. adults with any mental illness. You can see right here, 56% are female. White,
Yeah.
56 white people, right? Black people are down here with 37%. Those who are been diagnosed with mental illness, right? So anybody can go over to the National Institute.
But didn't I just say they rarely come into treatment too? So based on who's gone.
So how do you know? That's my point. If we have these stats and you're saying that they don't come into treatment, how do you know what these numbers are? Why would you as a professional
I'm not reporting my
out into the atmosphere? But you said listen, you either want to hear what I have to say or you don't.
Wow. Let's go back and see what just happened, because Dr. L, he took that mental health break, came back with something. He said, I gotta show you, I'm gonna show you some numbers. You want to talk about some numbers? I'm gonna show you the graph. Let's see what just happened here. And let's oh gosh, it's very unbecoming here. Let's see what just happened. Dr. L took a little break. He said, yeah, yada, yada, yada. Let me share my screen and show you the stats. Let's see what happens.
Among U.S. adults with any mental illness, you can see right here.
Oh, yeah, let's see what he's saying. Can y'all see what's going on here with the chart?
Okay, so here's something from the National Institute of Mental Health. Mental health treatment received past year among U.S. adults with any mental illness. You can see right here, 56% are female. White,
Yeah.
56 white people, right? Black people are down here with 37%. Those who are been diagnosed with mental illness, right? So anybody can go over to the National Institute.
But didn't I just say they rarely come into treatment too? So based on who's gone.
So how do you know? That's my point. If we have these stats and you're saying that they don't come into treatment, how do you know what these numbers are? Why would you as a professional
I'm not reporting my
out
stats
into the atmosphere? But you
listen, you either want to hear what I have to say or you don't.
I want you to be accurate.
Okay.
I want you to be accurate.
What you want me to say is what you want me to say. You either want me to shut up and hear what you have to say and then I won't say anything, or you want to hear what I have to say. So let me just answer.
I'm not trying to be.
He said, ma'am, that's how he is so tired, so fed up. So you're right, Target. She should have just said, you're right. I need to learn more. Thank you for the facts. That's what she should have done. And that was a good argument. That was a good way for him to handle that. He just pulled it up. He said, who actually is diagnosed with mental illness? He said, other people look like they're diagnosed more than white people, more than Black people. Other people are diagnosed with mental health illnesses more than Black people. So what you're saying is just not true. It's not true. It's not in the research. All you're talking about is research. He said, let's pull it up from a very credible source. Black people are not as high. They're not higher than everybody else. And then she deflects and says, well, that's because they're not coming to treatment, so we don't know their numbers. Okay. So again, we said this at the very beginning. I said this was going to be a through line, that she says things that cannot be externally verified. It cannot be verified or validated. So she's saying, well, they're not coming to treatment, so the people who have disorders cannot be counted. So he's like, well, then how do you know they have disorders? If the only way to know they have disorders is for them to be counted, and then you say, well, they're just not showing up, but they're out there. Well, it's literally your opinion. And that's what you should say. Just how I said, I don't know the number of Black men being incarcerated. I don't know the number. I said it said with the Black men going to therapy less than white men. But yeah, that seems true. I don't have the numbers. That's all she tried to say. It just seems true. It seems like there are more Black people or more Black men that have mental health issues, but I don't actually have the numbers. But it seems like it because of what I see online, what I see in my family, what I see in my friend groups or whatever, what my friends are telling me about what they're dealing with in their relationships. It seems like it. That's the actual truth. That's where she's getting that from. It's just in her head. That's actually the truth. It's just in her head. It's because she dislikes Black men so much that any negative stat that she can pin on them, she will, without any actual evidence, without any actual thing that can be verified. Like this is absolutely wild. Let me see. I'm reading y'all's comments real quick. Yeah. All right, let's continue. This is I haven't seen the rest of this.
Combative, but you're putting
being very combative, and you need to let me finish.
You're putting this out into the atmosphere.
Set me up. You could have just did a reaction.
I didn't set you up
video.
because you asked me in an email what I was going to ask you.
Okay, so let me finish. Let me answer. I didn't submit my personal clinical stats. Everyone has their personal clinical stats. I'm also in the community. I'm also observing. I'm also seeing a lot. I have my own, I have my own personal stats as well. And not only that, but like those stats are only based on who's reportable. It's not based on who is not reported. It's not based on all the people that are incarcerated who haven't been tested. It's only going to be based on who was tested. Whereas I kind of know the stats of.
Now, she didn't have the questions beforehand.
Of people who were tested and people who weren't. So, okay, you don't seem to be respecting what I have to say.
This is wild because Dr. L has been sitting up shoulder squared to the camera this whole time, except for he took that little mental health break, came back with a stat. And now he's like this. Now he's actually showing his exhaustion. And the moment she has the opportunity to get him, that's what she does. The moment, well, you seem combative, and you don't seem to be respecting what I'm saying. When the whole time, for the last 50 minutes straight, she has been doing much wilder things than this. Much wilder things, much more explicitly, combative and aggressive behaviors. Explicit and implicit. Verbal and nonverbal. And she's like, you got to respect me and you can't do anything. But the whole time, and that's what people will do. It's like, and then men will feel like, well, I gotta be like tight talking to her because anything I do, she's gonna be like, oh, well, there you go again. When the whole time she's been wilding out.
As I kind of know the stats of people who were tested and people who weren't. So, okay, you don't seem to be respecting what I have to say. You could have just did a reaction video to my TikTok, and then you could have just said, okay, I don't agree with what she says. I don't respect what she says. But that's one of the reasons why I asked you, what did you want this interview to be about? Because I know that when Black American men and Black American women get together, it's usually disrespectful. Usually an argument. It's usually a debate. And I wasn't interested in this. That's why I said, what do you want to ask me? You said, I want to shoot from the hip. Okay, shoot from the hip. Just make sure you don't shoot yourself in the foot. Mess not with my anointed and do my prophets no harm. Be careful with me. You be careful with me. You can be as prideful as you want to be. You can be as insecure as you want to be. You can be as combative and hateful towards me as a woman or Black women in general, but be careful with me. Be careful.
Crazy.
Don't be stupid, okay? And so if you don't want to like respect me in this conversation, you don't agree with anything I have to say, and you want to argue and debate and go back and forth all that I'm saying is that they are unequal partners. Just in general, they don't even get along. There's a lot of disrespect. And also, in addition to all of this, Black American women are thriving higher than their men. And I don't see that in other cultures.
I had to pause her because she needs to be stopped. She won't stop herself. She needs to be stopped. She needs to be stopped. When she put out that prophet line, y'all know that's Bible. Let me give you the scripture. This is one of the most toxic, spiritually toxic things that people do. Let me tell you what it says. Okay. We're going to go to Psalm 105 here. Okay. Psalm 105, verse 15. Do not touch my anointed ones. Do my prophets no harm. Spiritually toxic, manipulative people. Okay. Now, Lana, you going in. Spiritually toxic and manipulative people use that line to try to scare people from coming against them, from correcting them, from actually speaking up about their misbehavior. Do not touch my anointed ones, do my prophets no harm. And they have almost like a voodoo-ish thing around it. Like if you do this to me, and they'll pull other scripture around it too. Like if you do this to me, like God's gonna come for you. And it's so gross, it's so disgusting. It's such a disgusting manipulation of spirituality. It's a disgusting manipulation of Christianity. And so when somebody is willing to do that, like they're just on another level, like they're willing to do a lot more than that. Trust me, they're willing to do a lot more than that. I really, really, really can't. I really think spiritual manipulation is the most it's a really disgusting, way to be. It's a disgusting type of manipulation. Right. And again, something that's totally not verifiable. Right. No, she's talking about she's literally putting herself in line with being a prophet and saying that God has a special protection over her because she's a prophet. And if you speak against her, that you are going to be something bad's going to happen to you. That's so gross. It's so delusional. It's so delusional. This is so sad. This is so sad. This is a Satan girl. Oh my goodness. Yeah, be careful with me. All that. Oh my gosh. Cardi B had a song about that too. Be careful. And it's like nobody's scared of you. Nobody's actually scared of you. Like you want to be like a bully, like a pit bull bully. Like you want to be like a big pit bull dog. Like it's really.
They are unequal partners, just in general. They don't even get along. There's a lot of disrespect. And also, in addition to all of this, Black American women are thriving higher than their men. And I don't see that in other cultures. Now, what I think a solution can be is, first of all, deliverance, therapy, and also I think Black American women need to open themselves up to men of other cultures and races. And that's just it. The numbers are too high. Black American men aren't marrying. We don't agree. There's always an argument and a fight. But I don't see African men arguing with their women. They're too busy getting married. I don't see white men doing this with their women. They're busy getting married. But Black American men want to debate and argue and sass Black American women all the time. It's like let's just agree to disagree, and then we could just move on. Just do a reaction video. You hate my video. You hate what I have to say. You don't respect me, and that's just it. But I'm not going to just sit here and allow you to just disrespect me and just say I hate you. You know, I that's very common in the Black American race.
Literally, me and Dr. L just made the exact same face. I haven't seen this part, but I mean, literally total projection right there. Perfect moment. We have someone in the chat who says that they know this lady, a family friend, and they say that she is like this in real life.
You guys don't.
I never said that. I never said I hated you.
American men do not get along well with Black American women, and it's just like it's always a disrespectful thing when you guys come together, and I don't see this with any other men. And so you can put your PowerPoint stats up. You tried to trap me and like trick me and everything. You didn't give me a chance to provide my PowerPoint stats. Listen, Fine. The internet says that's what you found on the internet. Yeah, I also have my clinical stats too. Like, I didn't report my clinical stats.
I'm asking you what those
You
clinical
didn't even
stats
give me a
are.
chance to prepare it. You basically tried to trap me in a Charlie Kirk kind of way. You know what I mean?
What?
And it's like, yeah. And what I mean by that is like you're trying to be like a great debater, but I've seen some of your interviews with other men. You were very respectful. You were respectful with that white man you interviewed, the LAPD.
I'm respectful.
Yes, but you're not being
Anita
respectful
from better.
towards me, and it's just
Oh
because
yes, I'm respect. Well, go watch my interviews with other doctors.
well, you're not being
I was very
respectful
respectful
with me, and it's like, okay, you don't have to agree with me, but we can
you
also
You can just talk,
disagree
'cause they go-
in a respectable way. And it's like you're not.
I'm trying to do that. I'm trying to do that.
You don't like
but you keep
you
cutting
are
me
not
off.
behaving in a way
All right,
like
well,
I respect you and I
keep
like
cutting
you.
me off. Now
You're not
you're cutting me off. Now you're being disrespectful. You're cutting me off.
Okay.
So now I ask you for your stats and where you got this from. I asked the
She
first
put the
question.
water bottle on
The
hard.
first question to ask you was where you got your education.
Can I please read my notes? Okay, here's my notes. 39.
Hold on a second. Listen. You're not going to just talk over me when I'm talking. You're not just going to do that. So let's be respectful. I let you go on that little diatribe there. So listen to what I had to say. I asked you about your education. I gave you a chance to talk about what you did, what you do, and all that. And then I asked you about who tricked you and where you got this information from. That's what I'm trying to get. And I want to know where you got this information from when you sit up here and disparage Black men. You're still talking. You disparage Black men. I'm going to give you a chance to go over that, but don't disparage Black men. When you talk about we're not being equally yoked, it's because we keep getting.
Is somebody gonna keep going when they're muted? He muted her. Let's back up. Let's watch it again. I didn't recognize because it didn't show up. I thought when they mute, it would show up on their name. I didn't realize he muted. I said, why is she still going? Let me go back. Let's watch that again. Let's watch it. If somebody is willing to do that, if they can't even be heard, that's another level. That's another level.
I let you go on that little doctor's gonna.
Let's see my notes. Dr. L finally said, he said, hold up, this is my house. He said, this is my house. This is my house. You go you for 52 minutes, you've been acting like a damn fool. You must be stopped. He muted her.
All right, well, I respect you and I like you. Cutting me off. Now you're cutting me off. Now you're being disrespectful. You're cutting me off. Okay. So now I ask you for your stats and where you got this from. I asked you the first question is some of the first questions I asked you was where you got your education.
Can I please read my notes? Okay, here's my notes. 39.
Hold on a second. Listen, you're not going to just talk over me when I'm talking. You're not just going to do that. So let's be respectful. I let you go on that little diatribe there. So listen to what I had to say. I asked you about your education. I gave you a chance to talk about what you did, what you do, and all that. And then I asked you about who tricked you and where you got this information from. That's what I'm trying to get. And I want to know where you got this information from when you sit up here and disparage Black men. You're still talking. You disparage Black men. I'm going to give you a chance to go over that, but don't disparage Black men. When you talk about we're not being equally yoked, it's because we keep getting a bad rap. And that's what I wanted to harp in on. Black men continue to get a bad rap, no matter our education rates, no matter how much we make, we keep getting a bad rap. And this is what I'm pushing back against. And when I have a professional with a PhD, with a doctorate saying this stuff, it really bothers me. So you have to come with data and facts and statistics. That should have been one of the first things that they told you in math when you went for your master's degree, that you got to come with it. So I'm asking you to come with it. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking you to put up a PowerPoint. Just say where you got the information from. Go ahead with your stats there.
So I'm not here to make Black men feel better, or make them feel bad. I'm not your therapist. Go to therapy.
Dang. You know it's no hope. You know it's absolutely no hope at all. No hope at all. No hope at all. That was the first thing that she said. You see her face? Wait. Oh, I gotta screenshot this. Hold on, y'all. I gotta screenshot this one. I'll use that for my thumbnail. Woo. Thank you. On my thumbnail. thumbnail.
Back again. Statistics. That should have been one of the first things that they told you in math when you went for your master's degree.
Oh. Okay, let me get this one too. Hold on. I gotta do this, y'all, because I gotta get a thumbnail. Who gave her a degree? An HBCU on the East Coast is what she said.
That you got to come with it. So I'm asking you to come with it. That's all I'm asking. I'm not asking you to put up a PowerPoint. Just say where you got the information from. Go ahead with your stats there.
Okay.
So I'm not here to make Black men feel better, or make them feel bad. I'm your therapist. Go to therapy, like I said, and increase those numbers. Get some healing. And if you guys are upset that Black men are always being beat up on, well, maybe it's because you guys do things to render those results. Maybe
imagine if a man had said that.
Black women don't have those kind of reputations. I don't have that complaint. Well, people are always beating up on me. I don't have that complaint. Black women don't owe. Black American women are not responsible for the feelings of Black American men. We are not your Build-A-Bears. Okay. And so let me go through my stats, and then that's it. 39.9 million Blacks in the USA. That's what they're saying. There are 39.9 million Blacks in the USA that they're counting. Okay. They're not counting Samoans as Black. They're not counting Cape Verdeans. They're not counting the Dominicans, but these are Black Americans that they're counting. 39.9 million Blacks in the USA. They're saying out of 39.9 million Blacks in the USA, 5.1 million are married. They're saying that there's a marriageable pool. Lower rates for Black women have been linked to a shorter marriageable rate, that Black men and Black women tend to have an unequal, stable employment and good economic, aspect, and that Black women tend to prioritize education and career. And I understand that. That's where the independent thing comes in, where I was talking about that in my video. It says Black women have an average of having more economic and educational advancements than Black American men. It says that another reason for the marriageable pool being low for Black American women choosing Black American men and marrying is because of the mass incarceration. There are more Black American men that have been incarcerated or have felonies in comparison. Doesn't mean Black women don't have them in comparison. They're saying that Black American men have shorter life expectancy. That doesn't mean that Black American women, that there aren't Black American women that don't have it. It's saying there are more Black American men that have shorter life expectancy. That's another reason that's contributing to the low marriage rates. It says in 2021, Black American men, 31% of them, and compared to the white population, were married. So 54% of the white population are married in comparison to Black American men, where it's 31.2%. They're saying in 2024, 33% of Black women married, and then they're saying 37% of Black men were married. But in terms of interracial dating, 13% of Black women are interracially married, and 21% of Black American men are interracially married. And then they're saying that Black Americans are the most single group in the USA amongst all racial groups. That means Africans, Caribbeans, Belizeans.
This live was like last week.
Cape Verdeans, Dominicans, Puerto Ricans, whites, Asians, Hispanics, Mexicans, whatever you want, every racial group. Black American men are the most single group in the USA. This is not about beating up on anyone. It's just this is what it is. I can listen, even in Divine Nine sororities. I used to be in one. Even in Divine Nine sororities, I was actually in the most popular one. There's about 600,000 women in that group, 500,000 women in another sorority, 400,000 in another one, 300,000 in another one. How many men are in Omega Psi Phi, Kappa Alpha Psi? Maybe 200,000, maybe 150, right? Less men. So that's all I'm saying. Yes, there's so many men that are educated, Black American men that are educated. I went to a historical Black college. I know wonderful Black American men from Black HBCUs that are wonderful, intelligent, and doing great. DJ Envy on The Breakfast Club.
That was literally the first positive thing she said. It was about an hour in.
is a graduate of a historical Black college, Hampton University, which was 30 minutes from my HBCU, Norfolk State. He is doing great in life. So I know tons of Black American men from historical Black colleges that are doing great. What I'm saying is that when you get into master's programs, you see less of them. When you get into doctoral programs, you see less. I'm talking about collectively, PWIs, trade schools, everything collectively. There's just an unequally yokeness. How many Black American?
She's equating the yokedness to education, it's just a fundamentally flawed argument. Being unequally yoked. Okay, let's get Bible, let's get the verse. Y'all know what she's talking about. Do not be unequally yoked. First of all, this is so often taken out of context, but anyway. 2 Corinthians 6:14, do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. Okay, so already we can have a whole thing about that because do not be unequally yoked with unbelievers. But what she's doing is saying that in order to be yoked, so yoke, in case you don't know, being yoked, if there's like 2 oxen that are pulling the farm equipment, okay, like pulling the equipment to farm the land, to till the fields, the yoke is it's like a wooden piece, or was, I don't know what it would be now, but it was like a wooden piece that connected the oxen together. And to be equally yoked would be like 2 oxen with about equal strength that are going in the same direction so that the work can get done. So to be unequally yoked is like, it's what the metaphor is that it's being in union with somebody who is not going in the same direction as you, or does not have the same capacity as you, like to pull the equipment to get the work done. Okay, that's what that means. So what she's saying is, and of course we would all say that's a good idea, right? To be with someone who has about the same capacity, about going in the same direction as you. That's a good principle. Which the issue with the argument is, among many things, one of the issues though with the argument is that she's equating the capacity with education solely, right? Or majority. Y'all know what I'm saying. Okay. She's saying that in order to be equally yoked, we got to have the same education level. And that is just a fundamentally flawed and actually an ignorant argument. So anyway, that's what that is.
Men are in churches. How many Black American women unequally yokedness? How many Black American men are in churches? How many Black American women are in churches? The groups are just not equal. That's it. It doesn't mean anyone's a bad person. It just means that's what it is. I'm not responsible for anyone's feelings. I'm not here to put anyone down, but this is just what it is. So I'm sorry, like if you guys feel put down or you guys feel like no one's defending you and you're upset that as a Black American woman, you don't feel like I'm doing that. It's not my responsibility. I'm not married to you and you're not my responsibility. You're not my father. You're not my uncle. It's not my responsibility to protect you. Have you protected any women or me? It's not my responsibility. I don't see anybody protecting us. So I don't know what this thing about, what this expectation of expecting.
I want to say this for Dr. L. Dr. L was literally, and he says this on the podcast episode I did with him a couple of days ago. I mean, he's literally has a history in law enforcement. And he was talking about how, like, if they would run into, he's in the Northeast, he's in Connecticut, when they would run into, I think it was talking about when he was maybe working in a city at this time. Anyway, you'll see it. He was talking about it in the episode I did with him. He was like, when they would run into streetwalkers, right, like prostitutes, that he would actually try to find out how they got there, rather than, a lot of other law enforcement or even just people, right, like just, dismiss them or, don't actually try to understand, have empathy and compassion for how they actually got into that position. And so I'm going to say that for him, for the record, like, she's like, have you protected anybody? Like, I mean, that was literally his whole job. He actually committed like in service to protecting people, and even has empathy and compassion for people who, a whole group of people that most people don't respect. And most people wouldn't try to, they wouldn't try to figure out, hey, how can I help you? So, I mean,
Black women to hold you down and support you and love you. I don't know what that's about, but I don't see that being done for us. So I don't know what that's about, but I'm just here to provide my perspective, the truth too, stats, and also my opinion, my observations, my naturalistic observations. This is what I see. This is what I know. This is what I've read. I've lived on the East Coast. I am from the West Coast. I studied abroad. I mean, I've traveled. So
where did you get those stats from that you rattled off there? You kept saying they said, this said, that said. Where'd you get those stats from?
do you not agree with them?
Once again, can't just answer the question.
Do you not like them? Do you not want to accept them? Are you in denial of them?
I'm asking you where you got them.
You're a Black American. You know these are true facts. You're in the community, but these are real. These are true stats. These are true stats. Ask AI. These are true stats.
Wow.
Read a book.
It sounds like that's where you got them from.
Travel.
AI. What group of people? Right.
Because you're gaslighting. You're gaslighting.
What group? I am. You're right.
Yeah.
What group of people have the most?
Yeah.
You said gang mentality? What does that mean? What do you mean by that? What's gang mentality? I don't know what that means.
In terms of gangs, most gang members are men.
Is it? And you said Black men have the most gang mentality, correct?
No. Most Black men who are, in gang, most Black men who are, in gangs would dominate over Black women in gangs, right? Like Crips and Bloods. Most of them are men. That's it. I'm not saying in general.
Okay, I asked you if you anything you want to clarify in the video. In the video, you said that most Black men have a gang mentality. The men
I
with the
didn't
most
say
gang
most
mentality.
because most Black men are not in gangs. I didn't say most.
Of those who are in gangs, most of them are Black males. Is that what you're
Black
saying?
American men, yes. Most, yeah. Crips and Bloods. Like I come from the gang capital.
Okay. I'm asking you what.
Yes.
What's the you worked in a prison. What's the definition of a gang? What's the definition of a gang?
Yeah, I think you know what a gang is, right?
I do.
Okay.
but you made the statement.
Yeah.
When you put things out into the internet and your podcast and you represent yourself as a doctor, that means something. And when you tell the world that Black men have the biggest gang mentality, I'm asking you to.
We're gonna get through this, y'all. We're gonna get through this.
Well, first of all, you don't have a right to hold me responsible for my doctorate. You are not the board. I've met my requirements and I'm doing well. You are a doctor as well, so you say, and you have a right to represent yourself as well too, and to be careful with me, because in the kingdom, in the spiritual realm,
here we go.
Doctorates and all those titles do not matter. You need to be careful.
But they matter in the real world, in the physical realm that we're living in right now. It
doesn't matter with God. You be careful with me. Be respectful. And at the end of the day, you claim to have a doctorate too of a degree I've never heard of, but that means something too, right? So you should also hold yourself.
You never heard of a doctor of
no, but you should hold yourself. You have to.
You didn't Google who I was before you came out here. You didn't look that up.
You have to hold yourself to a certain level too. Instead of
I
trying
do, and I am.
Okay.
And I am. But doctors hold other doctors accountable, and they do it all the time.
Not outside of the field. Not outside of the field. Not outside of my field. Because I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
The whole being careful with her, y'all, that came from, she said it a little bit ago. We're going to get through this, y'all. We're going to get through this. We're going to get through this. We're going to get through this. Dr. L did it. We're going to stand with him. Okay? We're going to stand with him. What she's talking about is the Psalm 105. That's what she brought in a little bit ago. Do not touch my anointed. Let's bring it back up. Touch not my anointed and do my prophets no harm. So what she was implying there, y'all, in that couple seconds was the education doesn't matter, but to God, I have spiritual authority over you because of my spiritual position. That is what she's implying when she's saying that. That's what she's saying. She's saying, she was saying that our education doesn't matter. To God, though, I have spiritual authority. And according to the word of God, he said, do not touch my anointed, do my prophets no harm. She's saying, I'm one of them. Be careful with me. That's what spiritual manipulation is really sick.
Well, you haven't, but you haven't.
You don't know what my requirements are. I'm not disobeying ethical codes or anything. This is my these are my perspectives. I have a right to have a TikTok that is not against my ethical code. So you don't have a right to hold me accountable because you don't even know what my ethical codes are. And not only that, but you don't know what I know. You don't know what I looked up. You don't know what's my master's degree. What's my master's
tired.
You know? We're not even talking about you.
So you don't know.
We're talking about me. We're talking about me.
All right. Well, okay? we're talking about we're talking about ethical codes. We're talking about ethical codes.
It sounds like you.
Yes, that's what we're talking about.
Not the ethical codes for my field. That's what I'm talking about. So it sounds like you're playing on semantics. It sounds like you want to debate in the Charlie Kirk kind of way, and it sounds like
I don't know what that is. I don't know what that is. But
it sounds like you did research, and you're like, I'm gonna rip her apart. I want to break her down because I'm a Black American man, and I hate Black American women. And I want to beat her down, and I want to break her down, and you can't.
Projection.
You can, because I was who I was before I met you. I'm going to be who I am afterwards, and I'm going to still post things, and they may not agree with you, but I had a feeling that this was going to be about disrespect, and this was about you trying to you wanted to argue and fight and debate, and that's what this was all about.
Yeah, because anybody need to get a water break. I'm not even going to be mad at you. Just come back. Don't leave me out here by myself. We got to fit.
There's a lot of people. There's a lot of people in this chat right now, and every single one of them will tell you, "I've never had an interview like this," because you're the first one. Because you're the first one who came up here. You're the first one who came up here who wasn't able to sustain her argument.
No, I did.
That's the frustration.
And you weren't, and you've never had a host like me. You've never had anyone with my authority. You've never had anyone with my authority. I am triggering darkness to you. I'm also
I've had plenty of Black female doctors on here who I gave,
but you have not had anyone with my spiritual authority, and not only that, but I'm triggering the darkness in you.
No,
you're
Dr.
upset with my stats. You're upset with
my
stats, and you're upset with the truth, and the truth stands. Black American women,
the problem is you haven't told
are not married. That's not going to change. That's not going to change. That you guys are not marriage minded, and you guys are not marrying Black American women. You guys are busy arguing with them and disrespecting them and saying, "I've never had an interview like this before." So at the end of the day, you guys aren't marrying Black American women. Those stats don't change. You can go back and forth with me all you want. Okay, you guys don't like Black women, and that's just what it is. You just wanted to argue with me because you don't like me. You don't like my video. You don't like me, and you probably don't like women that look like me.
You know what? You're right. Don't like you. You're right. You're totally right. You're totally right. That's the first fact. That's the first. Wait. That's the first fact we heard from Dr. C. I don't even want to mess her name up. I mean, because I don't want to, don't mess with the anointed. Okay, that's the first fact we heard from her all day. No, we don't like you. Actually.
Me. Okay, so then we're done. You wanted to just disrespect me. That's what this was all about. Okay.
What other cultures advocate? What other cultures advocate for their women to date, in particular, minority cultures, brown cultures, advocate for their men to date out?
Yeah. Well, sorry.
I need to hear. I want to hear it. I want to hear what he said. Yes. No. Somebody in the chat said that they know her in real life. Yeah, babe said. Austin said it's going to be real hard for her to get a man with this in the ether. She needs a lobotomy. Well. More facts.
Women to date, in particular, minority cultures, brown cultures, advocate for their men to date out.
Yeah. Well, sorry, that's where I stand. I'm not going to change it. Black American women can be open to African, Samoan, Indian, Sri Lanka, Caribbean, and kind of meet matches elsewhere, because Black American women aren't, Black American men aren't marrying Black American women for the most part. So be loyal to a ghost, continue to be gaslit, or be smart and get results, or stay single, independent, and, and feel like you don't need a man. I mean, that's just what it is. You can believe this guy who's gaslighting and, saying, prove it, and playing on semantics, or you can get results. Contact me for results. You know what I mean? Because
God.
you know, I know where to point
Please
you
don't.
to if you like
Well,
black men.
we
I know
don't-
where
we-
to
we
point
don't
you.
know-
I know where to
what
point
are your
you
results?
where the black
What
men
are
are
your
actually
results?
marrying
Yeah, what
black
are your
women, but they're not
results?
black American for the most part. The
Ask her,
stats are
Dr.
not
L.
going to change.
Say it again.
At
What
the
are
end
your
of the day,
results?
at the end of the day, black American
Say it
women are
again.
not marrying black American women. So that's not going to change. You can debate me all day. You can say your stats suck. You can disagree with me, but that doesn't mean that black American men are going to start marrying black American women. Now, if you want to, we could start a dating, what is it called? Like a black matchmaking service if you want. Hundreds of black women, and you can provide me hundreds of black, and we can do it together and start increasing the marital rates. I'm willing to do that with you. That would actually be fun. You know, I would do that with you. We can do it within a week.
No.
Within 2 weeks, we can have it done. You know what I'm saying? We can increase it.
Respectfully decline.
But I mean, until then, you're not a black matchmaker. I'm not. So then we're not going to be able to change the numbers without deliverance, without people having proper therapy and treatment, and without people taking responsibility and accountability for what part they play in it. You know. But you can hey, you can say this is a horrible interview, whatever. I mean, that's okay. But
I thought it was actually I thought it was pretty entertaining, quite honestly.
okay, but the stats are not going to change. I can tell you don't respect me. I can tell you don't like me, but the stats are not going to change.
Why do you keep going to like and respect? I respect
because you do. I don't think you respect me. I do not think you like me. I know what respect looks like. I know what likability looks like. And
he's not going to tell her. I do like you. I don't think he's going to do it. I think he's going to say, well,
that's not what you're giving me, and
that's okay. I think you know what deference looks like. I certainly enjoy talking to you, but I just want you to be accurate. And
I have been.
My good friend. No, you haven't been.
I have been. You can research everything that I've said when I get off.
Well, I researched it before. I researched it before you came on. That's why I know you're wrong.
You didn't type in the correct keywords.
Oh,
you didn't type in the correct keywords.
Because you were looking over my shoulder when I was typing it in.
You type in objective keywords, not subjective keywords. I typed in objective keywords. I also read. I also have 3 degrees. I'm not stupid.
I'm asking you what you've read. I've asked you that. That was the beginning of the conversation. What did you read? How did you get to these stats? After you read off that list of stats, I asked you, where'd you get the stats? You wrote them down. And I asked you where you got them from. You can't tell me.
Yeah, I've told you. I've answered your question. I'm sorry that you don't like my answers.
You didn't.
You don't like my answers. You're only here to disrespect and undermine everything I say and invalidate everything I say. You're not here to listen to me. You're not here to agree. You're not here to.
Ma'am, I heard everything you said. I heard.
And no matter what I say, you are angry and you came to invalidate me. You did not come to have a hey. You come to
invalidate you. I'm asking you to clarify your points. I'm asking you to clarify your points and give me the stats on what you have, because I can give you the stats on what I have. You said that black men are the most gang minded. I don't even know what that term means.
No,
I haven't been in law enforcement for my entire life.
I did not say most
of men. Those who are in the gangs, black men are the most in the gangs, and that's not true. However you want to spin it or word it, that's not true. It's
Black American men in comparison to Black American women. We're only talking about Black American men in comparison to Black American women. We're not.
See, when somebody, I mean, they're not even in person, right? And she just can't even help but get in the camera like that. Like she gotta get in the camera like this. That's how much energy she's coming with, how much negative energy she's coming. She gotta get in the camera like this. You can't even sit back and just like read. You can't even do that because you want to attack. Like there's something she wants to attack this man's for real. Like she wants to get him. He's not bothered at all.
In comparison to Black American women. We're only talking about Black American men in comparison to Black American women. We're not talking about Black American men in comparison to African men.
That's not what you said in the video.
Ladies, this is what we're up against. People like this are really out here. People like this are really out here talking about just being this way. Just keep it simple. Just being this way. And we really have to stand against this. This is terrible.
That's not what you said in the video. In the video, you said that these men were ghosts, that they had the most mental instability or mental health problems. We already debunked that. You don't know that. You said they had the most gang mindedness. I don't know what that means. Yeah. I would say that that's white men all day long, but those who are in gangs are actually Hispanic men. So I just don't know what you're
I would
talking
say
about.
Black American women, open yourself up to a soft life. Open yourself up to those white men. Open yourself up to those African men. Open
I wonder how open she's. Never mind.
yourself up to respectable men. Open yourself up to men of God, no matter what they look like. I would say that. I would say be open and stop being loyal to a ghost. I would say that, and I stand by that. No matter what I say, you're not going to agree with it. You came here to disrespect, invalidate, gaslight, and undermine me. That's all you came to do. You tried to set me up with an agenda without knowing that I stand on my principles, and I'm who I was before I came here. I'm gonna be here who I am afterwards. You are not able to have that power to defeat me or
Women who cannot be influenced are really, really problematic. She refuses to be. She's very resistant. Okay, they refuse to be influenced, just like doubling down, tripling down, quadrupling down. I mean, all she did was just double down this whole time, and we still got a damn 21 minutes to go. We're gonna stick with you, Dr. L. Yeah, after this, you definitely got to get on Dr. L's page, and we got to let him know in the comments. You got to let him know that we saw this, that we feel for him. Go like his comments, and like the video and everything, his video. But we stand with you, Dr. L. Feel bad for you.
Which I know you would love to do to my estrogen and my X chromosomes, but you're not going to be able to do that. I'm sorry if I stomped on your Y chromosomes and your testosterone. I'm sorry if I'm sorry if I offended your fragility. I'm so sorry, but I'm not responsible for your feelings. Therapy
are all men fragile? Are all men fragile, or is it just? I'm
just having a conversation with you, but I would like to know: have you been to therapy?
Hold up.
I've been to therapy many times.
Okay.
I've been to therapy
did you stay?
Yeah.
How long did you stay?
Yeah. I completed all the therapists.
How long?
Them all.
How long?
With black female therapists, white male therapists.
How long was your treatment?
Until they discharged me and said, "Listen, I'm good."
How long? Because I've never heard of you're discharged, you're good. Was it CBT?
Oh yeah. Well, then you're not a real therapist.
Did you?
They absolutely will discharge you. They absolutely.
Was it Kaiser?
Still don't know.
Was it Kaiser? Was it a
you still don't know. You still don't know.
Wow, she is really, y'all. This is some sick stuff. So this whole time she's talking about black men don't go to therapy, black men don't stay in therapy. This black man talking about he's been in therapy. He got to a place where the therapist successfully discharged him, which absolutely does happen and should happen. You shouldn't be in therapy forever. Like, hello, solve the problem, damn it. And then she mocks him, and said, "Is it Kaiser?" Talking about because insurance companies will give like a set number of sessions that you can have covered, and she mocks it like, "Oh, did you only get 6 sessions? Is that why they discharged you?" Like, that's some sick stuff, man. That's really weird. Really weird. Look at, hold up. Screenshot, thumbnail. Okay. That's a good one. That's a good one. That one looks dynamic. That's a dynamic one.
Oh yeah. Well, then you're not a real therapist.
Did you?
They absolutely will discharge you. They absolutely.
Was it Kaiser?
Still don't know.
Was it Kaiser? Was it a
you still don't know. You still don't know what my master's degree is.
Okay, go ahead and tell me. Go ahead and tell me.
You should have looked me up. You should have looked me up. Tell me. You were coming on the podcast. Everybody else knows. Everybody else knows.
Would you please say?
You can go over to LinkedIn and see what it is.
Okay, go ahead and say. Go ahead and say.
What
I know what your doctorate is in. I do not know what your master's is in. No, I don't.
But you never heard of it. What is a PhD in leadership? What comprises that?
What is your master's in, sir?
Don't play.
Do you mind sharing with me? I don't know what your master's is.
I do.
You don't want to share with me?
He just getting tired.
Because I don't know. I know what your doctorate is in, but I don't know what your bachelor's and master's is in. No, I don't.
My master's is in forensic psychology. That's what my master's is.
Okay, that's great. I had majored in forensic psychology for about a year, and I decided it wasn't for me. but I did it for about a year. But
Right.
forensic psychology is very, very different, just like every discipline is. But yeah, I think you're very successful. That's great. Did you know what my bachelor's was in? Did you know about where I studied abroad and all that stuff?
I did. I looked you up on LinkedIn and all that. I didn't see the on abroad. I didn't see that. But
so then we don't know everything about each other, and that's okay. We can still get to know each other. I think you're a successful guy. I think you're a successful guy. I think you're articulate. I think you're smart. I think you're handsome. I think that, you have a good podcast, but I'm just having a conversation with one person. You know what I mean? And I'm sure
please, miss, please don't do this. After you just came on here doing all this kind of stuff on my platform in my house, ma'am, please save it. Go back, look at him.
Successful guy. I think you're a successful guy. I think you're articulate. I think you're smart. I think you're handsome. I think that, you have a good podcast, but I'm just having a conversation with one person. You know what I mean? And I'm sure it's probably a lot of people like you, but I'm just having a conversation with one person. I just take people one person at a time. You know what I'm saying? And when I'm engaging is what I'm saying. When I'm engaging, I do not know everything about but I do respect your education, your intelligence, your articulation. I did like the way you presented yourself on other past videos, and I thought you would be a safe person to talk to based on that.
So I'm still trying to be a safe person. Let's wrap this up here. I want to know what black men.
Let's wrap this up. Let's reset. Okay, now you ain't trying to throw it over here. Let's just get let me walk you to your car.
And because I'm about saving the community, I get a lot of heat about this.
Okay.
But I want to save the community. And one of the biggest things, I agree that you have been tricked. You said this; those are your words, and I agree that there's been a tricking going on here about that. I'm trying to get to the root of that.
Yeah.
And I want to fix the community. And if we're going to raise highly successful men to be more of everything that you want, that you addressed, right? 26% of black men have a bachelor's degree. We ought to raise that up to 50% or so, right? Absolutely. So let's work on all these different
educators
numbers
as well. More black male educators. They're saying that they.
Well, in order to get black male educators, you got to get them to graduate from college first, right? So we got to fix the K through 12 education. We got to fix
This is what Dr. L told me on when we were talking before I did his podcast, which was like 2 days after he did this one. He said that when he shared that his master's was, let me go ahead and get Dr. L right here too, dynamic. This thumbnail gonna be funny. Dr. L said once he told her that he had a master's in forensic psychology, he said it was like her tone totally changed.
Men in the home, even though we know the black men are of all the races are the most involved in their kids' lives. We got to fix
that's very true.
Right?
That is very true.
Right.
Black men are very involved. I come from a patriarch family where all the men in my no one in my family was born out of wedlock, and I'm not trying to put anybody down who was, but I am proud to say that I come from a family where everyone was raised in a 2-parent household. We respect men. We do not feel that a child should be raised without a male in the household. So with that being said, the only reason why I put that video out there is because I really do want Black women to be more vulnerable, to take a back seat, to allow men to lead, because that is biblical. That is Ephesians 5, and submissiveness and Proverbs 31 is the role of a woman if you are submitting to the word of God. So I do believe that we need more leaders in our community. I do feel like that it is very sad that we don't have more men wanting to resolve problems like you said you want to, and more men leading. So it's not about putting Black American men down. It's more so about saying we need more leadership. We need.
Someone in his chat said maybe it's Tourette's. That's not funny. Not that.
And our culture is not patriarch. And I don't mean toxic masculinity or chauvinism. I do mean patriarchal, because there's a difference. There's a difference. There's a big difference. You can be patriarchal and you can be protective and respectful and not be misogynistic and chauvinistic. So I actually do follow the man is the head. I do follow that within my faith principles. So I do believe that the man is head based on the word of God, because I am a knower, you know what I mean? Christian. So for me, I do believe that the man is head. And I do believe that that is a missing piece in the Black American race. I do feel like the Black American race has been bewitched. This is not a professional clinical meeting. I'm not in a meeting with a bunch of psychologists where we would go about treating in a totally different way. This is a one-on-one interview between you and I. I'm not practicing as a psychologist in this video. You understand me?
You know, she's trying to say that because she knows there's a part of her. Yeah, there's a part of her that knows she's wrong. She's like, I'm not doing I'm not a therapist. Don't try to hold me to any kind of accountability or no kind of standards. Like, I am not, this is not therapy. If you gotta put that much disclaimer on it, you know a part of you is some in you saying something ain't right. If someone saw this that has some kind of hold over your license, you probably be in trouble. Okay. Now, also, I do understand, and seriously, like it is a difficult kind of space to navigate when you do have this license, this state license, and you also are a person that has your own views. But my point is, so that's real, that's valid. But my point is, if you got to do all that, I'm not being a professional here. No, ma'am, you're not.
So with that being said, I would like to create solutions too. You and I can create a matchmaking service where we will help Black American women and Black American men actually marry and refrain from fornication, because fornication does lead to soul ties and oxytocin bonding. And so if you don't subscribe to that, then hey, that's another reason why there's so many broken homes. I subscribe to the 2-parent household. I subscribe to men being needed in the household, men being needed in the community. I subscribe to that. So that's what my whole purpose of that was. I have a lot of big videos on my TikTok. That was just one video. I subscribe to the man being the head from the Ephesians 5 scripture. That's
somebody in the chat said, you know, she doesn't embody. And then I also saw, right, Jay Malachi, hey, also saw, right, this is the difference between someone reading and studying versus embodiment, right? That she's not matching the scripture that she is citing clearly. And then, I mean, where are the fruits of the spirit? Where's our Galatians? I think 5:22-23. I mean, where's that? You so Bible.
But I don't like women being ahead. I don't believe in the sisters be doing it for themselves. Independent women, we don't need a man. No, I don't subscribe to that. Who wants to take out trash? Who wants to do that? No, I'm sorry.
I you know, I don't want to interrupt you, but I just want to kind of finish this off here. And the problem, I think that is being acknowledged. And there's a good friend of mine. I don't know if she's still in the chat here. Her name is Anita from Better Love Movement, and she has finally acknowledged she'd made.
Well, I think y'all got a point about that water. I'm not trying to put nothing on that water. I'm not trying to say that it's not water, but I don't know. Y'all were like, is there water? Is there even water in it? But the way that she just squinted when she drank, let's go back. Let's go back. I'm not trying to say, look, I don't want to put nothing out there. You know, everything is allegedly, you know, I'm not saying it's nothing in the bottle, but the way that she like, look, when I drink my water, is what I look like. That's what I look like. I saw Dr. L also take a sip of water. Now, when this lady drank water, now let's see what it looks like. I'm just saying, I don't know what's in the water bottle. I don't know if there's anything in the water bottle. I don't know if it's water. I don't know if there's water in the water bottle.
And the problem, I think that is being acknowledged. And there's a good friend of mine. I don't know if she's still in the chat here. Her name is Anita from Better Love Movement.
Do y'all like that when y'all drink water? It kind of put some stuff together for me. Let's watch again.
This is off here. And the problem, I think that is being acknowledged. And there's a good friend of mine. I don't know if she's still in the chat here. Her name is Anita from Better Love Movement, and she has finally acknowledged. She'd made a video about this the other day, saying that men have been right all.
Not water. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. After I saw that second sip, she went back for more, and it hit again. Rewind tape. I'm having too much fun, y'all. We got to do this again. This was fun.
A good friend of mine. I don't know if she's still in the chat here. Her name is Anita from Better Love Movement, and she has finally acknowledged. She'd made a video about this the other day, saying that men have been right all this time. That a lot of men are invisible.
I think that's right. You stuck around long enough. Crack the case. Crack the case. That's heat going down. I know it.
Visible.
Okay, I don't know it. I don't know it. I don't know it. Don't get me. Don't get me. Don't get me. Okay, but what I'm saying is, when I drink water, it looks like this. Okay. When she drinks water, it looks like
Saying that
this.
men have been right all this time, that a lot of men are invisible to a lot of women because they are looking for certain height requirements, money requirements, all this type of stuff. And if more women would lower their not so much lower their standard, but at least consider the average guy, then a lot more people would be satisfied and be in relationships.
I agree with that.
When I put out stats like 54% of men are black men are childless and in the middle class, that opens up a whole dynamic of much more available men that maybe previously, if you're only searching for the top 10 or 20% of men, then maybe that becomes more available. And again, I don't want to hold on. And so I don't want to harp on this again, but again, I'm going to say this as respectfully as I can. When sisters who are educated, such as yourself, and I've seen others do this as well, put out information that unfortunately is just false. Well, it's not unfortunate, it's just false.
It's not false, but
okay, let me just say what I'm going to say here, please. And when I put out information that is false, then it paints us all in this bad picture that we.
See, I think the swallow was a nervous thing. Okay, it could be. It could be. It absolutely could be. Absolutely could be. Maybe I'm just not nervous. Maybe she's nervous. Maybe that's what it is. You know, who knows? We're just observing. No idea what's going on.
Have been fighting against since the end of slavery, which so we have to continue to fight this type of trope, fight this type of narrative, fight this type of thing. Just like, as you mentioned, Charlie Kirk, when this guy was saying things about black women that you know, he named some black women and said they don't have the mental processing power to get certain jobs. Well, I take umbrage as a black man who came from a black woman who has raised a black daughter, and say that black women have the processing power, but we have to collectively stand up for each other and not give into these tropes of falsehoods. So white supremacist talking points about our intelligence, about men not being at home, not men not being deadbeat dads, all this stuff, when you start digging into the numbers, as many other black academics are doing, T. Hassan Johnson, Dr. Ron Neal, Tommy Curry, others are doing, when they're digging into these numbers and trying to combat these narratives, and then unfortunately continues within our own communities. And that's why I wanted to push back against these numbers. Not you as a person. Not you as a person. I don't want to attack you as a person.
I understand.
I wanted to attack the narrative.
Okay, I got it. Can I please say something?
Yeah, I will let you. Just let me say this here, because these people put this up before. Malosh Wilson, thank you so much. A black woman, we're so educated. How come they go to Thailand, Colombia, to complain about black men not dating them? Thank you so much for that. And my man BGS, more and more ammo for my channel. I know you're gonna like this, BGS. Thank you so much. So I just want to acknowledge those. Go ahead with.
Thank you. So I do want to say this, right? So I grew up in a pro-black household. I grew up. My grandfather is is the original member of Nation of Islam, before Farrakhan and before even Malcolm X joined. He was the FOI. So I come from that background, meaning with the men in my family. And so my name is even African. We all have African names in my family. And so I come from African men. African men is what I mean. African mindset, patriarchal, men are the head. We will not have any illegitimate children. The men are important and well respected in my family. I come from men who went to college, provided for the women.
10 minutes, y'all. Y'all have really stuck in there. 10 minutes, y'all. You're doing great.
Men who only marry black women, understand, you know what I'm saying? So I'm very, you don't know me, and you don't know the journeys that I've traveled, the boards and meetings that I've been in where I have defended black men. Like, I'm having a conversation with you. I'm not having a conversation with them. I wouldn't say these things to them. I'm talking with you. And so I have always defended, but I am seeing the numbers of marital settlement being very low, and that is not good for our children. That is not good for our community. We need leaders. We need Strong Black men. I don't even like the word strong Black woman because it stands alone. I am not a strong Black woman. I'm a woman. I have strengths. I don't like the word strong Black woman because it doesn't leave room for vulnerability and femininity. So there is no term strong Black man. There is no term strong white woman. You understand what I'm saying? So my whole point is that I feel there needs to be more spiritually led, more Ephesians 5 men, because favor is added to your life when you marry. Your life expectancy it extends. Also, too, you're going to be 60, 70, 80, 90 one day. You want someone who's going to be there holding your hand, taking care of you. It's better to have two heads than one. And so you need someone who's going to have your back. We need each other. We need strong, masculine, Black men, not chauvinist, not misogynist, strong, patriarchal Black men. That is missing in our culture. And we need Black American men and women to marry more. If they're not going to marry, then Black American women need to open themselves up to other. And that's just it. Because I really think it's sad to see so many Black American women that aren't married. I'm willing to do a program with you if you wanted to, a matchmaking service with you where we will focus on that. Not fornicating, not being players, not disrespecting each other, but actually.
Like did she just suggest that they would even be having some sort of relations, that he would even be interested in that? That's just absolutely, wow, I gotta go back. How fun would this be? We should do this like in person and get like we should do this in person, just pass a mic around and everybody just gets to.
If you wanted to, a matchmaking service with you where we will focus on that. Not fornicating, not being players, not disrespecting each other, but actually marital settlement, because that is missing in our culture.
She's saying like we're not focusing on other people fornicating. I don't know. I'm not sure, but it doesn't even matter because no, the answer is no.
And so numbers are high of single. There are, I don't talk about Black, first of all, the numbers are high of single Black households, like where women are raising Black men and raising, children. That's sad. That's not good. A woman needs a man. Men are needed. We come from the man's rib.
Alana says she would literally lower the life expectancy of her spouse. That's his comment. I didn't say that.
I can never be stronger than a man. I am the weaker vessel. Doesn't mean I'm weak, but I'm the weaker vessel. So even with me sassing you back in our video today, you're still stronger than me. Your voice is deeper. You're darker. You have more melanin. You have more testosterone. You have Y chromosomes. I don't have that. So with that being said, like, we need men like you. We need strong men in the culture. Okay. I know that there are a lot of men like you. I went to a historical Black college. All the men in my family are strong. My uncle is a PhD sociologist, very strong.
And that's good. Yeah. Gold Ranger said the nerve to discuss matchmaking after suggesting Black women date outside their race. I mean, yeah, the whole thing was like women should just open up to other people, but now you want to matchmake? Yeah. Yeah, the colorism thing is pretty wild. I was, I thought I wasn't expecting that. I wasn't expecting that. That's distasteful. Let's get through this 7 minutes, y'all. No, we should do like a Zoom. We should do a Zoom where I don't just talk, but like I can facilitate the Zoom and y'all can, and we can all talk and just everybody can talk like out loud. That would be fun, right? We should do that sometime.
Man, but it's a small, when I'm saying collectively, I'm just talking about collectively. So I'm not talking about like, well, I know a lot of people like this and I know a lot of people like that. And hey, yes, what I'm talking about is experience, applied knowledge. What I am seeing outside of my family, outside of my friends. And also too, I have a friend who's a medical doctor and she's Black, and we talk about these topics all the time. And she actually agrees with what you were saying about Black women can be more, even if educated, can be more open to like blue collar guys, men that work at the post office, men that are truck drivers, can be more open to that in order to like expand their options as well. So she actually promotes that. She actually says we should write a book about it. So I think
please don't. We actually need you to delete your accounts.
That, you know, they're a lot of, I think Black Americans need coaching is what I'm trying to say. Black men need male coaches, Black women need female coaches. You understand what I'm saying? For example, I was a part of a group, and there was a woman in the group who was had met a Ethiopian American guy, and she was dating him, and he was pursuing her, and he was serious about her, and she was more attracted to the emotionally unavailable Black American guy in the group instead of the Ethiopian American guy that was pursuing her. Go for the Ethiopian American guy, drop the emotionally unavailable. You're not here to build a bear. You're not his therapist. Just learn how to work your program. And so that's what I mean. Well, whereas Black American women need mentorship, Black American men need mentorship. We need more leaders in the culture. We need more Black males that.
I'll pause. I'm not pointing. I'm not like, yeah. Yeah, I think we should do the Zoom. I think we should do a Zoom. I think that would be fun. And then we can talk out loud and because what we also need to see, y'all, is that of course not all men and women think like the crazy people we see online. Like there are those of us that are definitely a lot people who are a lot quieter and out the way, minding their own business, who actually I think we could have a good time connecting on being normal people. And even just making fun of this stuff, because although it's sad, it's also like, obviously, it's also really funny.
Or teachers that are educators. So that means that they need to finish high school and go to college, like you said. That's all I'm saying. We need more men being responsible.
Yeah,
being responsible. I got a call from someone in London who said, hey, is it true that Black American men have babies out of wedlock and don't marry? Because we're talking about this in class. I said, yes, he was flabbergasted. They are talking about us in the UK. They're talking about Black American men having children out of wedlock and not marrying.
Don't believe anything she says at this point.
Marrying women and the women and believing that there's a difference. Like, I'll have a baby with you, I'll fornicate with you, but I don't like you. I don't want to marry you. So they're talking about this in other continents. It's an epidemic.
That's why I should call it a roast. We should just call it what it is. Let's do a roast.
And it's something that we need solutions, not talking, not debating, not disagreement, solutions. You can talk to me after the show if you want. I promise I have solutions, and we can put a program together and let's get some results. If I'm lying, if what I'm saying is so false, then we should be able to get results based on our solutions. That's all I'm saying. If what you're saying is true, then you should be able to show me the results. I had a Black American man, smart, intelligent man, MBA, has businesses. He challenged me just as well as you did. And I said, let's not argue. Let's just do our own statistical research. You provide me this based on that. Show me the numbers and I'll provide it for you. We gave a timeline. He came back a month later. He said, you were right. I could not get he said I couldn't get the numbers at a high rate. So I'm willing to develop programs with you. But if I am false in what I'm saying, and if my stats and perspectives are wrong, you should be able to prove me wrong with results and salute. And I'm serious. Challenge me. Let's talk after the show. Let's put programs together. I would love to see Black American men leading and not arguing with women, not sassing women, not checking women, not fornicating, just reducing women to sex objects, not having children out of wedlock, but actually marrying, protecting, and being with men of faith.
Gotcha. Where can we find you at? And tell everyone where your website, your podcast, your TikTok, give them all that information before we go.
That was the best.
Should I put it in the chat?
You can put it in the chat. Yeah, absolutely. Thank you for coming on. Somebody else sent a super chat. The nameless protagonist. This sounds like male liability with matriarchal specifications being repackaged as leadership. No right, no responsibility. Authority equals submission. Thank you so much for that, nameless. Appreciate you.
Okay. There you have it.
I don't think so.
I just put it in the chat. Do you see it?
I don't see it. No.
Really? Oh, it says private.
Put it in. Okay, I got it. Private chat. I'll copy it. You want your phone number in here? You want that up there?
That's my business. That's my client number. Okay. Should I not put that?
No, if you don't, I'm just asking if you want people to know your phone number and call you up. I mean, that's fine. I'll put it wherever you want.
It's my client number.
All right.
We don't. Equalizer said we don't want to find her. How can they find you? We want to lose you. We want to lose you. We don't want to see you again.
Yeah, I mean, hey, if you want to talk afterward, I'm not saying today, but and develop some programs. Hey, I'm all for it because this arguing and debating has to stop. It's like, let's just get results because I can't keep riding on the
Man, please stop.
1970s
He's
and
trying to wrap the
1960s,
show.
you know, of what happened to us. It's like, no,
Talking.
like let's
Gotcha.
let's get results.
Gotcha.
Let's get results. Let's take
You gotta
accountability.
mute her, Dr.
Men are the
L. You gotta
head.
mute her.
God made men as the head.
Damn.
You guys are stronger. We need leaders. We need a patriarch community. That's it.
I appreciate you coming on. I appreciate you sticking through this. So
Sorry to
I really
disappoint you.
You didn't disappoint me. Well, a little bit you did. I'm not gonna lie about that. A little bit you did.
See, no
But
appreciation. No appreciation for the Black woman. See,
no, we're not gonna do that because most of my audience is Black women, and they don't have a problem with me. I've had a few brothers who said I haven't been hard enough on Black women. I wasn't gonna try to take it out
so
on
you
you.
proved them wrong today. You proved them wrong.
No,
today,
well,
you were
I
very
just
hard on me.
said I wasn't going to take it out on you. I just said that I wasn't going to take
But
it out
you
on
did.
you.
Yeah. You know what? Yo, we got 60 seconds. 60 seconds, y'all. 60 seconds. Yo, we got 60 seconds. 1 minute. 1 minute. We're here for almost 3 hours. 60 seconds, y'all. Just breathe through it. We are almost there. You can do it. You can do it.
You
But
did.
I just wanted to ask you about the numbers that you got, and we're gonna. I'm not.
Well, I think you were very
hashed that.
intimidating. You were very intimidating. You did definitely.
I've heard that. I've heard that. I didn't mean to be. I've heard that. I didn't mean to be. But thank you for sticking in there. I appreciate it. We can certainly chat after this,
Sure.
and see where it goes. So,
And I do respect your credentials and I respect your education, and not just that, but your articulation and your intelligence. I'm not going to put that down and undermine that just because we had a disagreement and it was frustrating. I'm not going to do that. The truth is the truth. You know what I mean? So you are a man who can articulate and communicate, and I respect that, you know, so.
All right. I appreciate you saying that. Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
All right. So we'll be in touch. Take care, everybody out there. I hope you guys enjoyed this. BGS, I know you're going to chop this up and have a good one. I'll see y'all. Take care.
Yeah, this was funnier than I thought it would be. This was a good time. All right, y'all, we're gonna go ahead and wrap it here. I got nothing left for you. I really appreciate your engagement. I'm going to just literally just put this up on Instagram. Once I make my thumbnail, I got a couple different clips, little screenshots. I'm gonna make a thumbnail, put it up on YouTube. It'll be up there. Let's put it up tomorrow. Okay, put it up tomorrow. I'm not gonna edit anything. We're just gonna put it up. Okay. We're gonna chop it up too and get some reels and everything. Y'all definitely go to Dr. L's YouTube. Just type in Dr. L podcast on YouTube. Go to his YouTube. You're gonna see that video, like it, leave a comment, let him know that you let him know that I sent you. And that we support him, okay, and that we see him, because he was kind of he did not like how that interview went, you know, because it was obviously a mess, okay, but let him know that we support him. Also subscribe to my YouTube if you haven't already. Link is in my bio. Just type in I am Taylor Chandler, y'all. I hope you have a really good weekend, and I'll see you soon. Bye. Thanks for being here, y'all. See you. Bye.